We find ourselves on a post-apocalyptic island where in the far reaches of the north, trouble is brewing as the vulture cult grows rapidly, led by a man named Igna, who will stop at nothing to force this world to its knees.
It's up to you, Alpha! Yeah!
Oh, Bison. Hello.
Just go slow. Just go slow. Just go slow. It still works though. Just drop from a quarter.
There.
That's right, Team Caps is diving into this free-to-play survival game. We were craving to play Once Human together, so we're hopping into the new Way of Winter update, and together we have 100 days to stop Igna's evil plans of conquest, as well as complete the entire map and all of its content on pro difficulty, while surviving and thriving in a new and harsh environment against powerful and very stylish enemies. Hey, my lovelies, I am your humble ringmaster, Kuromida, and say it with me now, let the show begin! We awaken high up in the sky, way out in the far north of the island called Nalcott, confused yet very excited, as this server is fresh out the oven. It literally appeared as we started recording, so this world and all of its content is our oyster, as they say. As for why it's so late in our first day already, well, it took us very long to design our characters and get through the tutorial, but first things first, we need to find the boys and make sure that they're okay, and that massive tree over there seems like a good place to regroup. As we are gliding along, here's some small bits of context so you're up to date. We are meta-humans, so we have special powers. Starfall was a bad event that brought monsters into our reality. Stardust that flooded in corrupts things, and there are many evil organizations here that want to control other humans and the powers of deviants, but we are mayflies, the good guys, one can say. We want to live alongside deviations, not dominate anything necessarily. The bird we are gliding with is named V, who used to be a scientist named Victor Hamlet, so we'll get survival and story-related details from him from time to time, and we are all supporting Mitsuko, this girl here from the tutorial, who has more powers for her own good and people want to steal them, like the main enemy Igna this time around. See, the main difference when getting through the tutorial in Way of Winter is that Igna appears in Mitsuko's special protected dimension that she's made as a projected shadow of himself, and he has so much power in this form already that V warns us to be careful around him. He seems to know that we are a mayfly, plus explains that he is the founder of the Vultures, a large cultish bandit faction, and claims that he will take control of the north, and after that, beat us and add Mitsuko's dimension to his list of conquered worlds. With that, he also basically challenges us to beat him, since if we don't, well, he'll kinda just take over the entirety of Nalcott and then many other worlds thereafter. But it's very clear that he is confident in beating us, and upon meeting us, plans to get full access through us to this dimension to conquer it. Perfect! I do hope you've enjoyed this in-flight entertainment to catch up on the story, and we've officially made landfall in the region known as Onyx Tundra. Being here does take me back to my first 100 days spent in the base game. It's such a bizarre world where no rules apply as horrifying beasts flood into this realm, objects come to life in weird ways, humans mutate to take on crazy forms, and there's so much to do, especially with friends, so I am so glad to be back. And like last time, this video is sponsored by Once Human. And listen, I wholeheartedly recommend this game, not just because it's super fun, free, and offers PvE and PvP content, but we have played the 100 days, and the boys are still going since there's a variety of scenarios to play. This one, though, being of ice and fire, the Way of Winter. 'Tis a survival spectacle you don't want to miss, and there are multiple exciting scenarios with different themes coming in 2025. You'll always have new experiences around the corner. One's called Code Deviation, featuring popular deviation pet friends, and a new unrestricted PvP scenario called Code Broken, featuring multiple endings with different rewards, allowing you to dive in with friends just like Team Caps or solo. Also, no matter if you're an existing player or new player, join Once Human now to receive 36,000 star chroms thanks to their new Stellar Stairway System perk. So download the game for free today using my link below and use code Chromida to get a boost in items to get your account started. And join the fight against Igna in this new nightmare-infused adventure, cause man, the one me and the boys have in store for you was one wild ride. Upon reaching the big tree on day 2, we came to some confusion. See, we're in teams of 2, as we are apparently in different worlds of the same server, so we need to find a teleportation tower, because there we can group up into the same world. We got each other added as friends, and then headed on out to find said tower. We decided to check Column Outpost to see if there might be one there, as it's close by, and as we were trying to find it, we noticed that under our mini-map at the top right, there is a temperature dial, one of the main points of this update, so we need to stay stay nice and cozy, not too cold nor too hot. Upon reaching our destination and entering the camp, we were relieved that the NPCs don't seem to be aggressive, so I guess the Column faction are good people. However, there's no tower at this location, so it seems like we need to find a larger settlement. So our next best bet to check is Ice House Camp. Being this far north has some beautiful views, and we were approaching the base quickly, but I made a little whoopsie-daisy and fell to the death of my ankles. Alpha had to rush back to help me back up, so note to self, fall damage exists. Shortly after, we reached the camp and spotted an interesting glass igloo-like structure, and more importantly, in the center, we found the teleportation tower. So we activated it, and Alpha and I teleported to World 1, and just like that, Team Caps was back together.
Yeah, so we have Alpha as himself, Pixel as Fancy Squidward, Goat as a familiar face, and me as me. So yeah, I think we're off to a wonderful start. Nothing can go wrong.
Alrighty, we figured it's time to find our first base location to start getting some protection from the elements, deciding to head down to the nearby water. There we got the first starting foundations for the base placed and formed a team, which is like a party, and then I got the Team Caps Hive made, which is basically a guild. Once all permissions were granted, everyone should be able to access the terminal for this base, meaning they can also build in this territory as well. With all this out of the way, we headed out to get basic materials to start placing structures as well as get preliminary crafting facilities made. Note that to unlock new crafting options, one needs to enter the mimetic screen and spend ciphers for unlocks, like in my case here, building options. These ciphers are normally obtained from leveling up and doing various other activities. Goat will be prioritizing the garage to build vehicles, since that is his highest priority to get going in any game really. Eventually, we got a roof over our heads, and progression was moving along nicely. Even got some window frames set up so we could let some light in. A small teaching lesson was then in order, as I told the boys that by pressing J, you go to the Journey tab, and when you complete certain tasks just by playing the game, you gain rewards which gives XP, ciphers, and various items. We then got a few of the bare necessity facilities placed down in our base, and then V popped up with some survival tips. For starters, we can place these small camps wherever we please, and also use a torch to stay warm on the go. We were also instructed to hunt down some deer and turn their hide into some cold-resistant clothing. Note that different animal hides used in crafting affects your environmental resistances or gives you perks. However, we grasped this concept fully much later. While everyone was busy with their crafts, night had set in and the temperature had dropped slightly, but nothing that we can't handle for now. Speaking to V once more, he explains that defeating Igna on our own might not be possible, and advises that we need to find some survivors for information and even possibly support. He marked a location on our map and wants us to go there to check it out when we're ready. For this though, we wanted to be slightly better geared, so to get crafting going, I got a furnace placed down in the base, and in there, charcoal was set to be burned up, and with them and ore, copper ingots were set to smelt. Also, Goat handed me some that he made, and with that, we were able to place a disassembly bench to end off the day. This is a crucial facility to turn random items that we find into crafting supplies. The early hours of the next morning were covered in a very thick fog, and since it's chilly out, we took heed to V's words and learned the first temperature control mimetic, which was a campfire, placing it hazardously in our wooden base. It is a nice light source and does provide a good bit of warmth, just you can't cook with it and we need food and boiled water to survive. During all of this, Goat had been searching far and wide for items that we can use for crafting, and it was worth it as he brought back scrap and adhesive, which was very needed.
I want to show you a magic trick. Something you might have not seen or realized was possible.
Shut up.
After Pixel picked on me about never dodging in the last 100 days that I did, we got the final materials to get a cooking stove placed down, which allowed me to cook roasted meat. In this time, Goat got a rudimentary garage going as he is dead set on being our mechanic. And the boys kept bringing more supplies in, so I got some storage placed down, along with a gear workbench thanks to their efforts, so we can now work on armor and weapons. Pixel, Alpha, and I were then discussing how to build our camp. Meanwhile, Goat was decimating a camp to get more supplies. And simply through processing materials, I reached level 5, which unlocks the cradle selection next to mimetics. This unlocks skills, which seem to be different from the last time that I played, so we have new build options, which has me excited. We also unlocked specializations in the Mimetics tab, where we can choose one of multiple skills that improve our character passively. These vary from improving crafting outputs to resource gathering bonuses or special items to use in combat. Now back to us wanting to gear up. To make guns, we are going to need waste plastic. So Goat was on his way back from his expedition to disassemble his hull for that and came across a house covered in zombies, yet chose to engage this place at a later date. Looting the cars nearby was a good way for us to stock up on basic resources near camp, which we then disassembled, so all the boys handed me their waste plastic, rusted parts, and rubber so I could make 4 pistols in total, but apparently you can't give weapons, which was unknown to me. This means that everyone needs to make their own weapons and armor, so the boys got to working on getting supplies for this. And because of that, looting cars lasted into day 4, as they are far in between. So Goat, wanting to solve this resource issue in one foul swoop, got himself into a situation where he infiltrated a camp of monsters. He did get some supplies, sure, yet had to end his attack early as he had no way to heal himself. So note to self, we need meds. We also noticed more people were settling in on this server, and they are making progress much faster than us, so we need to get a move on. Eventually, all 3 of them made their pistol, and ammo was then distributed amongst the team. With everyone geared up like we wanted, we then continued with the mission that V gave us, which was to get to the column outpost. So we took a little stroll to reach the camp, and as soon as we arrived, we heard a voice basically telling us that we have guns trained on us, but they quickly cool off as they realize that we are mayflies and thus are allowed to enter and warm up by the fire. The person that shouted at us was a person named Masley. She says that mayflies are welcomed here and realizes that we are new to the north and have never met the column. She introduces herself as the commander of the recon attachment and asks us what brings us so far to the north. We tell her that we are here to fight Igna, and our goals seem to be aligned, but first we need to prove that we can be trusted, and the way to do this is to find someone by the name of Wendy at Camp Igloo and help them there. To our surprise, after that conversation, we were granted access to using motorbikes on the go, so this will speed up our progress quite literally. We then decided that the place with zombies that Goat had seen might be a good place to clear out for a possible boost in our ammo supply, since it was on the way to Camp Igloo anyways. After popping some zombie heads as a squad, we pilfered this place of its goodies, although the true terrors lied below in this bunker. It was riddled with bizarre entities, but it was a prime spot for looting up fast, and I gotta say, it is super fun to be raiding these compounds as a squad, and I am excited to be back in this game again with my buddies. With this place now ransacked, we exited and headed home for some much needed disassembly. However, on the way, we noticed a nearby spatial rift. Inside of it was a morphic crate, which is usually invisible to the naked eye. Once it was slaughtered, a polar bear popped out of nowhere and tackled us, but as soon as we dispatched it, we got our special loot from the morphic crate and then skedaddled on back home. But also note, just like back in the day, engaging with deviants or being in stardust polluted areas decreases our sanity. That's that blue stuff in the health bar down below, which can only be cleansed with specific foods or sleeping in a bed, or in this case, by chilling at base as you passively recover here too. Once the evening had set in, we were doing various tasks like crafting and gathering resources for leveling up to get more mimetics, which got me to level 6 by the way, allowing me to unlock some basic furniture and leatherworking. This was great as it helped me process this hide that I got from an elk and use it to make a warm bed to wrap up the evening. As for the 5th day, we found an old friend of mine, which the boys had yet the pleasure to meet.
Why is there a walking bus?
Oh,
Yeah.
my friend.
It's immune!
Don't worry, don't
Yeah.
worry. He's fine. He's fine.
He's
Don't
friendly.
kill him.
He's friendly.
a good boy. He's a good boy. Don't shoot it. Don't waste your ammo. You can't kill it. There you go. Sit. Yep.
Oh.
Hop on in, boys. We got some loot. Getting out is a little bit tricky, as you can see right here. We're going on an adventure, boys. Fasten your seatbelts. We're going on a trip
We later arrived at Camp Igloo to progress the story, and once in the confines of town, went inside the main building where we talked to someone named Anne, and she says that the temperatures here are constantly dropping due to things called chaos weavers that roam out on the snowfields, which intensify the blizzards. And from a quick glance, it looks like there's lots of vendors in this space too, but our priority is speaking with Wendy here in the back. We tell her we are mayflies, and she tells us she's Maisley's sister. She's excited that we're here to help, and she's in charge of pretty much everything here, and there's urgent tasks for us to complete. We then are prompted to summon V very briefly, so we can see the commissions tab and select 5 to complete for the rewards, and then we accept our first task from her. She explains that the Union is a group of survivors, and they made a trade deal for supplies, but they lost contact with the convoy. It was last seen in a town named Mooseville that is overrun by deviants, so we know where to go. But first, we talked to Lo, my good old friend, the Deviation Collector. We frequently spoke to him in the first video. He basically tips us off on where to find deviants. He also gifts us our first deviation, being a Digby boy to mine at our base. Maisley is also here and mentions that vultures keep attacking and how avoiding combat with them will be pretty much impossible as they are a growing threat. Before proceeding, V wants the boys to learn to make some of the basic facilities that I already crafted for us at base, so they are following up with the survival lessons, and since I have some time to kill now, I got the copper pickaxe made, and with it got some tin and a little bit more copper to make bronze, which is when I caught a second Digby boy. One can get deviations through many means, like out in the open world like just now, or from doing harder content like silos, aka dungeons for example. With bronze set to craft, I set down a second containment unit and placed a Digby inside, so we have our new little friend just roaming about. Just look at him go, he is definitely trying to be Employee of the Month. However, he's got some competition as the boys decided to set up 3 more Digbys, making this place a sweatshop. The boys aren't done with V yet, so I would act as the Papa Crow that I am by hunting down more deer for food, turning seawater into salt for cooking, collecting some dirty fresh water, and setting it to boil for our consumption so we are topped up. We all then regrouped back up, and Alpha already got his hands on an AK. He must be craving violence, which he will soon have, since V says that if he were Igna, he would regret provoking us. He's also all for us to help the column, as they seem to be a good ally for us. With them, we possibly can bring an end to the chaos in this region. We were ready to head out to Mooseville, so we hopped on our bikes and rode out as the true wild hogs that we are. Driving under a starlit sky, we all appreciated the graphics and lighting of the environment, passed through a snowy region, and then eventually reached the outskirts of Mooseville, giddy with excitement to shoot whatever we came across.
Let's enter with caution, guys. Okay, never mind. Never mind.
In town, we see Hot Dog on a roof. He is a mayor of a settlement far south, and we chat inside, and turns out he's an acting diplomat now and needs help. Vultures ambush the convoy, and they need protection so that they can fix the trucks to get the convoy going again. We then pop into a solo story instance, and with that, straight into combat. Vultures have swarmed us, and they are wearing very stylish headwear, making these kills more painful for me than for them, I'm sure. And yes, the boys all did the same instance fully. With all of them eliminated, Hot Dog thanked us as they were able to fix the trucks. Also, we all came out of this with new weapons. Goat and I with LMGs, Pixel with an AR and a bolt-action rifle, and Alpha with a brand new AK. On day 6, we made the best of our current situation and set out to plunder this town fully. We could use anything at this point because we are incredibly broke. Here I want to explain on the left top there's tasks to complete for each settlement. We call completing those town completion, which we will now do as it's a great way to get blueprints. There were more dangers ahead of us though than we expected.
Guys.
What? What?
Oh,
You hear that?
I hear some very big footsteps.
It's a glutton. It's a big boy. Shoot his ankles. Watch out. You gotta jump over those shockwaves. Shoot him in his head. Kablammo.
Devious creatures littered the place, some more horrid than the rest, like these big old boys in the distance. Through these disgusting creatures that are way higher level than we are, we managed to activate the Rift Anchor. There are multiple per region, and they need to be activated to fight great ones, aka bosses, inside areas called monoliths. We plan to finish up here by collecting the final crate, but the glutton spawned on top of it, and we are close to being out of ammo, but like rabid animals, we pulled it off somehow. We then cheesed our way up this giant cake by spawning our motorbikes for a bit of a boost, and with that mystical crate opened, Mooseville is completed. At level 10, we are able to select a second specialization node. As I reached that level, I unlocked load handling for better carry weight. We ended up spending a little bit more time here as we wanted to make sure that we licked this place clean of supplies as it is loot galore. But yeah, this place was also littered with Star Walkers that are these annoying floating deviants, but their design is one of my favorites. We were fending off swarms of monsters later on because Goat wanted to show us something on the outskirts, which was this balloon, since by shooting it a few times, granted us a special drop, so that was worth it. The boys just couldn't contain themselves though, kids in a candy shop as they were running rampant for chests. We did spot a red exclamation mark while looting this place dry though, so I told everyone to meet up there, as it is a roaming event with a deviation inside. You gotta break the car, which makes my favorite little guy appear, the polar jelly. I missed you so much. But this was serious as we had to fight each other to keep the jelly on our heads for rewards.
We shoot each other!
I don't know.
No! No! No, 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 no!
Come back here, boy! Come back here, boy! Oh!
I don't have ammo. You.
Oh, now you have it. Ah, no, I don't want to burn.
No, I have it.
Burn to death. Yes! Yes!
Okay, you guys want to play dirty?
No!
Wait, don't shoot me! I won't go! Yes!
You have been chosen by seed of life.
I've been chosen
Yes.
to die.
Groundsman.
You know it. The reason we are doing this event, guys, is because as you have the jelly on your head, you get sproutlets, and that is a currency that you can use to buy upgrades for your weapons later. Not for the sake of killing each other, absolutely not. It's just for the sproutlets.
Die!
No!
Oh,
Oh, that is the end of the event. Good job. I hope everyone got a good amount of sproutlets and we got a little bit of a goodie bag in the end.
After that rodeo, we were low on ammo, so we returned home to resupply. After disassembling and refilling ammo and consumables, which I will call upkeep as of now, we leveled up and unlocked some important memetics for this update, that being Polar Exploration 1 for special rocks that control your temperature, and learned to make some basic gear. Of these new recipes, Alpha was the first to make a whole raid armor set. However, not all of us could make raid gear as we need more resources, so we plan to head out to raid some camps. The largest nearby settlement is Wishland Eastern Park, which seems to have higher chances for resources than others nearby. So that is our target. While everyone was making gear to head out with, Goat had upgraded his motorbike for some more speed. And thus, we rode out on day 7 to loot as much as we could carry. On our way, Goat and Pixel pointed out though that they got a polar jelly from the event that we did, so it's great that we have some combat deviations in our team. It's like an ice grenade. We eventually found our turn to get into Wishland, and looting began at the entrance already, thanks to some popped balloons. Now riled up, we began to blast our way in. It seems to be a carnival land of sorts, a former play area, now to be the home of pain and death for those that stand between us and boxes. During this, Goat pointed out that there was a paper doll deviant in a bus, which we all got a hold of, as this one keeps your base nice and tidy, the opposite of how we will leave this place.
Oh, there's cool music here. Oh, and there's a flamethrower! I think so. Or he's a candy thrower, I don't know.
We truly pillaged this place like the loot goblins that we are. No box was left unopened.
Whoa!
Oh,
Whoa!
Oh,
what?
Uh-oh. What in the heck?
it was almost.
Help! Oh!
Wait, can we take this for a ride? Get in. Let's go.
Oh, wait, we can? What did you press?
I found a fucking
Wait,
candy
wait,
bar.
wait, no,
I took the sun.
Oh no!
What? Wait, I couldn't get out.
He is in the eternal roller coaster ride.
Yeah.
We were having way too much fun here, even found a prehistoric museum, while the boys were having their own kind of adventure, because this place is huge. We did eventually come across a boss in this Coliseum-like area, but thankfully, the boys are here to back us up, as this guy hits like a truck. This seasoned employee is no joke, but with the power of friendship, we stood victorious. During all of this monkey business, we could not help but notice the center castle. Surely that place would have the most valuable loot inside.
What the fuck is that claw machine? Boys, I think I found the final boss.
Uh-oh.
Get on over here. Oh, he's throwing teddy bears! Oh, he's pulling out teddy bears from his wee-wee. Don't worry, I got the tool for the job.
Watch out.
Teddy bear's alive!
There.
Oh, I'm down! Save me, brothers!
What do I do?
Just press F once. Shooting me's not gonna help. It's like, what do I do? What do I do? Shoots the patient.
During town completion here, we found an underground aquarium section filled with mini-bosses and corrupted gators, along with an odd machine that requires 3 batteries that we must find, and it wasn't too hard. They all got collected down here and connected in a flash, granting us blueprints for barbecue gloves for fire damage. We still haven't found the mystic crate though, and this one was going to be a doozy to find. More corrupted wildlife was being discovered, like corrupted wolves that were in this canyon area, which I nuked, along with myself.
Alpha, my boy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Help me. Oh.
It seems we have landed in an animal den, as there were even corrupted bears which were guarding a weapon crate. We all somehow managed to loot it one at a time, but this was getting rough as we are slowly running out of ammo. But the final place to check is the top of the castle, which I somehow found my way up to, and the mystical crate is here, as well as danger in the form of a strong balloon monster. But the real danger was a drop in temperature as we all died to the cold. We need to remember to respect the elements, but we're not giving up on that crate. Thankfully, dying in this game isn't really punishing, and after disassembling all of the loot, we were able to make a bit more armor, in my case, making a full raid set. We are also very excited to be making our own bolt-action rifles for some sniping, along with an SMG for me, as it's one of my favorite firearm types. The next morning, we did some upkeep and placed more deviation securement boxes so that Goat and Pixel could place their polar jellies inside and thus sync to them to take them with us for combat. I used this opportunity to teach the boys about setting up deviations environments, as each has likes and dislikes that affect its performance, like this one wants blue light. Some of us were at the stage to make bronze pickaxes, which combos well with our raid gear as it provides an increase in load capacity, so resource gathering should be in full swing. Till about mid-morning, we were preparing for our adventure, which was when we discovered that Pixel looted an icebreaker LMG and a fish melee weapon, so he's making progress. Love to see it. I then gathered the boys for another lesson, this one about mods that can be placed on weapons and armor to improve your build, like upping crits, elemental damage, survivability, and so on, and that they come in different tiers. Also, there is an attachments tab to add upgrades to your weapons. We went back to Wishland, up to the roof, and prepared to fight the staff badge monster, and so together, we rained down up. Actually, if you want to get technical, but upon the monster, and together felled the foul beast. Those polar jellies came in clutch. Thanks to that, the mystic crate was obtained, and some of us reached level 15, allowing for more skills to be added to the cradle. This part of Wishland is done now, but we saw a big French fry tent, as well as a mushroom kingdom, so we made our way on over for some more looting. As we got closer, it began to rain down, and the temperatures were dropping, but we just pressed on, slaying a leopard or two on the way. Turns out we now entered Wishland West in the downpour of rain, where we fought another claw machine and just blasted our way through the area, noticing some shadowy figures though that you can't kind of kill unless they are brought to a certain light post, making them susceptible to lead. During all of these fights, I got a deviant named Gazochio, which is a territory deviant for guarding your base, and inside a cave is where we found an identical battery scenario like before. Completing this granted us some extra blueprints, which are always welcome.
Oh, fuck.
By midnight, we believe we wrapped up the contents of this inner cave. But of course, we must do town completion here on day 9, so that kept us busy, and during, Goat set his sights on a new location, still within the area, but he said, and I quote, "I am going for the Krabby Patty." So we made our way on over there, but there was a big old balloon monster guarding the sacred formula.
Oh no. Guys, I'm scared. Help me.
Oh, I see it, Goat. I'm here to help. But it doesn't have the light on it.
Whoa, what the f is that?
We need to show it the light. Follow me. I'll bring it to the light. Uh-oh.
Oh, fuck. It hurts so bad.
Need your help.
Oh, it's stuck.
Oh, fuck. He summons hammers. Okay, yeah, no, this guy is absolutely freaking busted.
Oh no.
Ede, why are you immortal?
We proceeded to ignore Ede, though it would not ignore Alpha, so he has his work cut out for him while we continue scavenging. We figured out that the shadow tentacles can be passed through if you turn the light towards them, so it's a unique mechanic to move around the park, but we struggled to figure out how to defeat Ede.
I'll check now.
Hello, bro. How the fuck did you run? What the fuck did you just do?
I don't know, I just winged it.
Hey, Crow, that squid is looking awfully suspicious if you ask me.
What if you could go into the ear? Is that an entrance, maybe?
Yes, it does look like it. Wish me luck. I won't make it. I won't make
That
it.
didn't take very long to get to that conclusion.
We later approached the Mushroom Kingdom, hoping to find the Mystic Crate there, and checked absolutely every corner, but nothing. So now our only goal was to get to Bowser's Castle at the top of the Center Mountain. Investigating ways to get up there, I think I found a way. I'm not a very patient man, so rather than looking for the roller coaster to get up, I just began to jump my way up the tracks, and from here it's pretty easy to reach it just by gliding. All you gotta do is walk through the front door now, so I waited for everyone to group up, but Pixel fell to his untimely death and decided to just recover back home, so it was up to us three to adventure forth into Bowser's Castle, which inside is a fancy looking mansion, and we even had to roleplay as Super Mario for a second and jump down this brick hole.
Wait, why is there a pizza party with nunchucks? Can anyone explain that to me?
And the rat. A level 16 rat, might I add. That is one strong rat.
We later found the Mystic Crate as we were surrounded by shadow figures. In a panic, we all managed to loot that chest somehow and skedaddle down out of there. With that, this area has been completed, so we met up with Pixel at base for some upkeep. We got a load of supplies from that, and a lot of XP was gained. During a group resource gathering session, we organized ourselves with assignments. Goat, our mechanic, will handle the garage, fuel production, and electricals. Pixel, our quartermaster, is in charge of farming, and with that, cooking. Alpha, our scout, would do the synthesis bench and its progression since you make explosives and other utility items, and I will be taking over everything that is base building and later animal taming. We save mimetics this way for weapons and armor that we each need to make ourselves. By now, we reached the stage of processing iron ore, so we were getting an ample amount of it going, and also melted this shiny ice rock next to our base with a Molotov, and got a chest. From it, Alpha and I finally got a polar jelly of our own, and got them all in a conga line to end off the evening. It does raise the question though, which deviation will each of our team members like the most by the end of this video? Day 10 had us gathering resources, but just by heading outside, I immediately just up and died, so I'm assuming it is cold out. Because of this sudden cold snap that I suffered from, I made thermoium. This will be important in a second. What was clear was that we did not want to upgrade the base a lot as this was just the starting location, so Alpha and Goat split up, looking for a proper base location. Goat searched in the Onyx Tundra, and Alpha in Venya Fjord. The criteria to look for are water, wood, stone, and ideally iron and up, or like aluminum and tungsten. During this, I continued the resource gathering, but the cold was making me constantly hyperthermic, so I had massive health ticks going every second. With that thermoium that I made earlier, I made hetium, which will keep me warmer till it turns back into thermoium, so you gotta keep cycling this. I explained this to the boys and took some time to go through the season goals with them, as it has plenty of rewards like Star Crom that we're going to want for weapon and armor unlocks late game. The day was slowly coming to an end and we had yet to find a new base spot, so Pixel and I joined in the search. We covered so much ground that it was Pixel that found a good spot in Onyx Tundra near the border of Venya Fjord, close to our current base actually. It's got some ore and wood, but it's lacking in water, so we'll have to set up rain catchers or a water pump. So I zoomed on over to see it for myself, and there's a broken little house here which adds a nice little touch to the area. It's pretty flat too, and it's at a cliff drop off, so the view is absolutely stunning. So yeah, it is decided. We have our new base location. So logically, day 11 was all about moving HQ, and this game is all about quality of life as I got it placed at the new spot with the press of a button. I love that so much. But we have so much remodeling to do, so I began to make some basic adjustments, and with it, making it more spacious. It's still very preliminary, but it'll work for now. The boys then popped in, Pixel was appreciating the redesign, and Goat was letting his intrusive thoughts win with zero pushback.
Please work. Whee!
There he goes! Easy to say, everyone's needs were being met here. The boys pitched in by gathering more wood for the base, but down the line we plan on making it stronger with stone and steel. During this build, I was reminded of how much I was and still am a fan of this build system in the game. It lets someone even like me make something that looks good. I eventually got a second story made, and with some bronze that was made by Goat, was able to place an intermediate supplies workbench. Even got some decorations placed here and there to make it feel a little bit more homey, and with the second story finished, Camp Caps is looking incredibly snazzy. Not bad for a day's work, and can't forget that Pixel was already setting up a farm by the garage. We are grateful for this shelter as we huddled up by a fire at night, as we still were struggling with the harsh cold at times, but I dig the challenge. It reminds me of playing Skyrim with survival mods, which I love to do. Day 12 started with sorting our belongings in larger storages, and as for the cold, I learned temperature control too, and got a simple vintage stove placed for better heat. Pixel noted that his rainwater collection has slowly been yielding results, which is nice, and 4 warm beds were now placed as well, so we can all now sleep safely when logged off. As we waited for sunlight, Pixel decided we needed some entertainment with a Gamba machine. In short, it is a Whack-A-Llama minigame to unlock blueprint pieces. We had added and unlocked many basic blueprints, but most importantly, that of a purple shock AR, which we crafted. Very nice. It goes well with my shock rampage mod, improving its surge ability. At noon, we were geared up and descended towards Camp Igloo to continue the story. Once there, we spoke to Wendy. She tells us about a situation with a place called Fort Obsidian. Vultures are planning an assault on the igloo and have gathered resources and troops there. They have heard that Igna was planning on appearing there, so we are to attempt to cut off the head of the snake early. She also has information about Rosetta, the main antagonist group from the first playthrough. They have little to do with this area at the moment, but they have no love for the column and are working with the vultures for unknown reasons. Wendy thinks that Rosetta plans to just turn on the vultures once they get rid of the column. She tells us there is a Rosetta camp nearby from where we are to get intel on their plans, encouraging us to kill as many of them as possible. I mean, say no more. Just have mentioned this once, there are so many different reward menus like season pass and events and so many more that we checked off tons of stuff and got tons of items and cosmetics, so be sure to check those out when you play. Looking at the map, we marked the route to Fort Obsidian when Alpha pointed out a silo along the way, so we'll have a cheeky little peek inside as we meet the level recommendation. Along the way, we did notice that Goat's bike is a little bit speedier thanks to his upgrade earlier, but it comes with its own downsides.
If you tap shift 5 times, it goes faster.
Madre.
Ah, boy. That was way too good. I didn't think someone would fall for that. I just wanted to say f you, but I was like waiting a bit longer to see if someone falls into it.
I feel so dumb right now. I feel so dumb. Well played, my man.
That
well
was
played.
so good.
Around 10 p.m. we arrived at the silo. Looks like an underground subway station. At the front of it was T-Man, who gives out bounties. In short, you get little quests from him, similar to Low to my understanding. As for the silo, we tried to enter, but Alpha and I succumbed to hypothermia because we couldn't figure out how to enter as a team in time. And since we respawned, we just quickly made some more hetium to survive. We too then rode on back and entered the silo as a full team. It's a repurposed abandoned subway controlled by the vultures, and they are bringing the heat. And the interior design is that of an underground bar mixed with cultish elements, which is a really cool choice. As for the enemies though, we steamrolled them as this is the lowest difficulty. However, there were a couple higher rank NPCs to beat towards the end. The loot here was plentiful, the damage from the fire traps, samesies, as the vultures had more and more fire-based skills up their sleeve, but during all of this commotion, a Frog the Leaper deviation appeared, but only Goat and Alpha managed to catch one. It's a crafting deviation that gives items to improve your jumping capabilities. Things were getting weirder down here though, as we found corrupted vultures and a weird energy fluctuation, plus a stage in the back that I wanted to approach to play the drums, but that warped us straight to the end boss.
Whoa, whoa, what in the heck? Okay. Hi! That's a drummer boss, that's cool! That's the final boss, I think. Look at that, I like that. As a drummer, I can appreciate this. Finally, some drumming representation. However, you, my friend, have to die.
Oh.
Whoa.
Like so.
There we go. Easy squeezy.
The rewards were a deviation named the Invincible Sun, a new burn-based combat type, as well as the rewards from this here end chest. Alpha also noticed that he had gotten a cat and Pixel a space turner. We must be getting some deviations during looting without noticing. With that done, we exited our first dungeon satisfied and hopped onto our steel horses to reach Fort Obsidian to continue the story. It turns out to be behind a lodge-like village, which we began to raid, and further inside town, Goat found a person named Mika. He thinks we're here to join their vulture movement, but to join them, we have to answer 3 questions, and all you gotta do is answer in the most cultish way possible, but in short, they believe humans should serve the evil Great Ones. Having passed the test, he marks the entrance to the fort, so we proceed up the hillside, reaching the entrance that's inside this here tunnel. This place is huge, V says, and that he's unsure where we will find Igna here, but our best bet is the platform at the top of this here cave. That's where a leader would stay. So we began to fight our way up while stealing their stuff. Upon reaching higher ground, the enemies were ramping up in difficulty as they seemed to be protecting their leaders here. However, nothing at this point can stop us. There was a special little spatial rift that you can check on to see what exactly happened here. Turns out we missed Igna, and he has ordered this boss of the vultures to conquer the entirety of the Onyx Tundra region. We're then prompted to place 3 explosives in the vulture base, which we did. Where these bombs came from, we have no idea, but we're not going to ask any questions if it involves some demolition. With everything set, we lit this place up to foil the vulture's plans of raiding Camp Igloo, so that quest is complete, but we still need to find the mystic crates here to finish town completion. Likely, it's up at the top. During this exploration, I did reach level 20, which allows me to pick my 4th specialization by now, that being molecular research to make better hot and cold ore, to hopefully help us further down the line. Eventually, at the tippy top, we all got the mystic crate, so we're done here. Night was setting in quickly, so we figured it would be safer to teleport back to Camp Caps to ensure we not suffer from hypothermia again. While here, we might as well equip any new improved gear that we got, change up our mods, and I decided to swap out my polar jelly for the Invincible Sun. On the topic of deviations, I started to place territory-related ones upstairs that'll help keep our camp safe. The next morning, Pixel recommended us to progress the Polar Expedition track for a Chaosium Lantern unlock, which should keep us warmer. And we did make it, but it uses so much Chaosium that we'll only use this in a pinch. Also, we couldn't ignore the fact that Pixel never got the Mystic Crate at the carnival, so we went there to back him up. On the way, we spotted some Nessie-looking teddies that wanted to see deviation skills, which we showed off, and that there got us a loot crate with some awesome goodies and a new deviation, a territory type called the Nutcracker for base defense. We got to do this same activity further up once more for extra loot, and then fought through the carnival where we tried out the sun deviation. It works like the polar jelly, just with arson, which isn't a bad thing. Fast forward, Pixel got the missing crate, and then we all decided to head back to Camp Igloo to turn in the recent mission information. We informed everything that happened to Wendy, that Igna wasn't there, but the good news is that we destroyed their supplies, so the assault that she was worried about was thwarted. So she was happy to hear that. Quest complete, but there's more work to do. The new quest tells us to get to Taiga Containment Center, which is further south. Like last time, there is a silo on the way, so we'll check it out. The trip took a little bit longer though, due to a bit of an oopsie with a cliff, but let's just ignore all of that. Once we got there, we readied up for the silo. This one seems to be a Rosetta lab, with the enemies slightly tougher, as Goat points out. We pushed through their ranks room after room, and the deeper we went, the heavier the guards were armed. There was even a prison block filled with deviants.
Ooh, door control. I'll open. Okay.
Well,
What did we learn? What did we learn?
The more buttons we press, the more loot we get if we don't die.
You know what? That is a very optimistic way to look at life, and I should learn from you.
Just keep shooting. Just keep shooting.
I can hear.
We were feeling some pressure from the enemies, but as a team we had nothing to worry about. What was incredibly fun is this giant siren section. It's like red light, green light while obliterating Rosetta troops. However, if you move while the light is red, you freeze in place. Further down, we got to this portal, and on the other side of it, we encountered the final boss, being a buffed up claw machine. The area freezes you up based on the color of the stop signs, and it has a special bubble shield, forcing us to get in there to keep laying on the hurt. And also, yes, he spawns minions, lots and lots of minions, and all of this made this fight quite difficult, but somehow we ended up victorious. That there gave us the right to claim our first Hydronaut fish deviations. These collect fish for us back at home, and it's a little spaceman, so Goat loves him already. And of course, we can't forget about the final boss chest, which is satisfying to open every single time, regardless of difficulty. Day 15 had us excited. The items looted once disassembled yielded refined parts and fireproof plastic, which had been our bottleneck to progression. Goat, using these new supplies, made the 4x4 so we can now ride as a team in style. It's idiot-proof and upgradable too.
Wait a minute.
Have to test it.
That's true. This is quality testing.
Yeah.
And it almost
Look
lost
at
all
it
of its
go.
durability.
Yep, it's over half broken. The good thing is, it is idiot-proof, which is what we need, and we can upgrade it. So I think this ride is gonna serve us well. Oh, I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead.
From what?
I think it's the cold. I think it's the cold.
The boys returned soon after my untimely death to see I was able to place the intermediate gear bench, so we're able to craft up to tier 4 gear. We then made steel pickaxes so we could mine aluminum, and by pooling our resources together, Goat placed our first solar panels atop of our house. While he was then busy setting up electrical connections throughout the house, we began to mine ore as we were getting quite low. This took us quite a while, but as the sun was setting, we came home to admire Goat's cable work. Nice and organized, even had the containment units hooked up. Into one of them, we placed the new hydronaut fish, so we had a mini space goat just running around.
He has a fish in his head. It's a goldfish in his head.
Yeah, it's a
That's so
goldfish
cool.
piloting an astronaut suit.
Oh, that is sweet. I didn't even notice.
Lastly, I placed down an electrical furnace for higher tier smelting, but the server needs to move up a phase so we can progress our memetics to smelt our recently mined aluminum, for example. We started day 16 by doing some upkeep around base, and then took the Capsmobile for a spin to reach the story quest marker.
Wow. Yeah.
This reminds me of something that happened
got
last
it.
video.
Yeah. Okay, we're off to a bumpy start.
It's okay. This
You
is a
got it?
4x4. We got this.
Well,
Easy.
Somebody just left their soul behind.
Sadly, I once more blacked out to hypothermia, as did Pixel. We need to figure out this cold issue stat. And one solution that we found is, well, through Pixel. As our chef, he has the ability to cook up salted cooked spiked tomatoes with a boosted effect for him due to his specialization, which will provide us with some cold resistance. Phase 2 of this plan was by hunting down these reindeer. Yes, we now realize that using the correct hide for armor gives cold resistance too. So we all got some cold resistance built into our armor, and as y'all can see, I have 25 cold resistance total by now. We are now ready to hop into the 4x4 to head out once more to our destination, but the cold wasn't our only problem.
Whoa! What in
What
the
the
fuck is that?
What?
What do you mean,
Wait,
what? Wait, go back!
What?
What the fuck is
Oh,
that?
don't go back.
Whoa!
Count!
That
What are
means-
you guys waiting for?
Oh, it's only once. Only once of damage. Don't bother it.
He's just pointing at us, just like,
Yeah, look.
Holy,
Yeah.
he shoots stars. What the heck?
this is a bad idea, boys. This is a bad idea.
We attack from above. We have the high ground now.
Don't
He
go,
is
don't go
so
further, don't go further,
loud.
don't go further.
Perfect.
Oh, he's immune.
Oh, no, I'm backing up. I didn't go forward.
Too late.
Dun, dun, dun,
Game
dun.
over.
Oh,
What?
Guys,
That took a quarter of my health.
I
Guys,
think
you
we
guys
have a
wanna
flat
go?
tire. I think we have a flat tire.
it's shooting rocks at you guys. Go, 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 go.
Surprisingly, we did end up at our destination and began to infiltrate, and we quickly encountered vultures in this Rosetta base, so we can confirm Wendy's suspicions that they are working together for some reason. Upon gaining a key card from one of the killed Rosetta soldiers, I was able to open a room with a chest, as well as a piece to this puzzle, that being blueprints with many specs. Looks like they're making some sort of reactor and engine, and V chimed into all of this. They are experimenting on how crops are affected by extreme heat and cold. They also have the column's leadership mapped out, which is quite worrisome. We snapped a shot of each of these boards, and were to take these pictures back to Wendy, but since we're here, we might as well extend our stay to do town completion here, as Goat found the Mystic Crate already. We had to solve a letter puzzle by lining up a Rosetta logo, which prompts a door to open. and a chest to be looted. All that's left is the rift anchor. Upon reaching the higher levels of the compound, we can see that the rift anchor is on a helipad. At this time, Goat was using a Frost LMG, and Pixel was enjoying his time with a fire shotgun. I will go more in detail into each person's gear once we make fully planned out builds. Reaching the helipad at midnight, we completed the checklist for this area. Our stay was extended to loot all this place had to offer on day 17, and we were stoked that we could be on a mountain at night and not be dying to the cold. Deciding to go activate the teleportation tower in their region, we then wanted to head back home, but before teleporting, noticed that the Tundra Monolith is now unlocked where a secret servitor hides, aka a powerful boss. Once home, I unlocked the recurve crossbow blueprint, which has the bullseye effect, which will make enemies take 15% more damage from our team. I am planning on being our team buffer and enemy debuffer. Upon checking blueprints, we saw that there were multiple things that we could unlock, so I guess it's time that we start thinking about builds, but we're lacking some resources like fireproof plastic, for example. So we went to Camp Igloo to deliver the intel to Wendy because we didn't have anything else to do. She says it makes sense now with how the vultures had been able to ruin their crops because of their machine plans, but they're up to something deadlier. Seeing the core member's chart, she is very upset that she is listed as basically harmless, but asides that, our next mission is called Black Gold. The contact we are to meet is called Ethiel, who is out in Whalebone in the Vena Fjord region. He's done research on how to fend off the plummeting temperatures, so maybe he has an idea on what we should do. It's gonna be a long trek over there, however, we feel like we should take a shot at that Tundra Monolith first to see how we fare. We plowed through Rosetta troops on our way up the monolith, excited yet nervous as this will be the first boss fight for the boys. I also have no idea what this boss may have up its sleeves. Upon gaining a vantage point, we continued to lay waste to the evildoers that dared block our entry, and once inside the main facility, saw the evil presence in the center. And upon touching the sphere, we see what looks to be a demonic three-headed angel. What could go wrong?
Okay. Oh, there it is. Look at you. Got a little bit of a eclipse behind you, and I guess there's no time for pleasantries. You're already moving, so I guess it's time for one of us, or all of us, to die. And if I mark it with bullseye... Oh, oh! Oh, I'm dead.
I'm
I'm using adrenaline.
No, I'm dead too.
I'm gonna die.
Holy moly, what is going on?
What does she apply?
I think she summoned some spikes, and they hurt like real bad.
The light heals you, and it does your insanity away.
That is true. All right, so stay in the light, guys. Oh, I'm about to die from a tornado. Oh man, she hits like a truck. I hope we brought enough ammo, boys, because that is one massive health pool. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Oh, I gotta heal. Oh, that is terrifying. And the rain clouds that she summons, they follow you. She has homing missiles. I guess the least she could do was give us some healing light. I mean, that's kind of nice of her.
Holy shit. Yeah, she one-shot me.
Oh, I hit her good on that one.
Whoop, whoop.
She's that tornado's on you, boy. You gotta go. I think we got this, guys. Let's just not try to full die. Ooh, dodge and weave, dodge and weave. It is a cool boss design, though. I like the mechanics. I'm enjoying myself, although I am fearing for my life.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Rain down lead, boys.
Yeah, there she goes.
Dead.
There
Let's
it is. Oh, I
go.
died upon winning.
So, as you saw, she is deadly, but it was well worth it. We all got a deviation called Snapshot, which I personally grew attached to immediately, as it weakens enemies that it takes pictures of. We also got some legendary mods too. We were happy that we made it out in one piece, but that was just normal mode. We will revisit this beast at a higher difficulty once we're ready. We then did upkeep in preparation to head to Whalebone on day 18, and man, the nights are just so beautiful, especially with the clear sky and aurora lights. We also took some time to bring out our deviations for fun, like Goat has the 6 samurai now to attack from the shadows, and my snapshot just skitters around like a spider. I love both of these so much. After some armor upgrades and upkeep completed, we headed out on our long journey, taking in the view as we cruise. We even got to see the Golden Gate Bridge. Much to our surprise, as we entered Vena Fjord, we caught a view of gigantic bones littered across the hills. At the end of these rib cages is the town called Whalebone, though I doubt that these bones belong to whales. At a chapel, we find Ethel. He has a serious issue on his hands and is begging for help. Seems they dispatched a team of column members to recover some oil at Fisher Harbor, but they ended up being attacked, so we have to save that team. Before going out, we found amorphic crates that gave us a gingerbread house deviation that lets you transform into random objects, and after that, we finally headed out to the harbor, and Goat here insisted on taking the scenic route. This is going to be the death of us at some point, I just know it. As we approached the harbor town, things felt off, and I don't mean the bouncing car that we landed in, but the place was in a constant state of night, as V pointed out. We spoke to a contact here named Cora, who was surprised that we showed up. Apparently, there are shadow deviants attacking them, and they are struggling to deal with them. However, we learned to use lights on these at the carnival, so she gives us a shock baton to turn on the power supplies that will put the lights back on. Exiting the conversation, we popped into a solo instance to get this part of the mission done, and it was pretty straightforward. We just had to turn on all the lights. We talked to Cora once more, who said that we just saved their lives. Also, when she heard that Ethel was the one to send us, she was surprised as he's not really the leader type. With the lights back on, they can get out of here and deliver the oil, and with that, we began to loot this place for all of its worth for town completion, which was also wrapped up in a flash. So we headed out back to Whalebone in a car that has an even more invisible health bar than the invisible deviants that we've come across. As we got to move on, we did come across the base of another player for whom we put on a little bit of a performance, but now we are truly off to Whalebone.
I was just going to say we might all blow up, and it just happened.
Well, it was only a matter of time for that to happen, but we still had our trusty steel horses, allowing us to reach our destination around midnight, descending upon the town in style.
Reach Whalebone at about midnight somewhere.
Pixel, no!
What?
Cool guys don't look at explosions.
Day 19 starts with updating Ethel on what happened at the harbor, and he needs more help, this time to escort a convoy that's heading to Bear's Den, which is another stronghold of the column. Seems Roland is stationed there, and Ethel has high praises for the man as that is their leader. We then ascend further up the whale spines above town, and at the summit spoke to the transport captain. He marks the routes on our map and says to keep a lookout for vultures. We had to take a brief jog as we are all without our vehicles as, well, they all exploded. But when we arrived at the marked location, we met someone named Veronica. She's the chief scientific officer of the column and is currently in charge as Roland led a team to Ember Strand to check on vulture activity there but has never returned. What happened to them is a mystery. During this, a vulture ambush fell upon us, and so we were in an instance mission to fend them off. Once they were dealt with, we see that the convoy reached Veronica safely. She thanks us for everything that we've done and says that the column and Bear's Den is always open to us. With that completed, we were all getting tired of the unnecessary cardio, so Goat went back to repair the Capsmobile and met back up with us. We then took off to Bear's Den as per our mission, and this ski resort is like a fortress, but the people here are friendly, so we got to enter with ease, so much so that we just took the car right up a staircase. Having activated a teleportation tower now in Bear's Den, V points out that we should look for Veronica, who is at the Bear's Den Hotel. She welcomes us, and since she's the highest ranking member here, she's the acting commander for now. Nothing has come up yet of Roland's disappearance, but she needs our help. See, vultures were seen leaving Rosetta's bases with cargo, and so she gives us a location to investigate. This place is called Hiverail, and we need to figure out what is going on. We want to follow this mission, sure, but the squiggly line roads that lead up mountains are interesting, and there is a teleportation tower out there, so we opt to go the long way. This path had its own rewards as we found ice melons, polar peppers, and a pack of wild wolves, which means new hide. We checked the tower off of the to-do list and then began the trek to Hiverail, which was far away, and, well, we had to cut corners because of this, which led to a slight issue.
Yeah, this is not gonna work. I think we need a glide, dude. No. Well, boys. Oh.
Just go slow. Just go slow. Just go slow.
The captain goes down with his ship, boy.
No. It still works though. You guys want to keep on going?
How is that thing still alive?
Oh, the health just dropped from a quarter.
There. I just saw that. Holy shit.
Let me get you up, boy. Let me get you up.
We did come across a new monolith along the way, completely coincidental, so we might as well infiltrate and activate the teleportation tower here. It was somewhat difficult to clear this place as the enemies hit hard as level 25s. But once the coast was clear, we activated the teleporter, and as for the great one inside, it's the Treant, a familiar face to me. Glad to see he's still around, but we need to activate more rift anchors in the region to unlock that fight first. We continued the descent down the cliffside to reach Hive Rail, and it's a pretty large compound. Weirdly enough, there are odd stone-like tentacles going in and out of the cliffside, but that bizarre geological phenomenon had me distracted from my stamina.
Oh, oh, I'm dead. Oh,
We eventually were in full swing infiltrating the base to uncover the mystery of the cargo, but more importantly, we realized that this place granted us higher tier items to get resources like fireproof plastics, which is just what we wanted. While clearing the compound, not only did I get a hang of using snapshots to weaken enemies, Pixel was discovering a new side to himself as he has a knack for chasing enemies down with an axe, so he was going absolutely ballistic with glee. I also got a Fetch-a-Lot bunny, which gathers resources around your base, and we just looted a ton of stuff here into the nighttime hours, which is when a snowstorm set in, which made temperatures reach a whopping -20, but we were resisting the cold thanks to all the upgrades we did. However, that is only true while the food and heatium effects are in play, and considering the enemies have already respawned, we chose to teleport back home to warm up and disassemble the hull, and it was juicy. We started day 20 with foraging for spike tomatoes, so Pixel could cook up more warming dishes, and while tons of upkeep was done till we were ready to complete the Hive Rail mission. We redid the slaughtering process upon our arrival, and the deeper we progressed into the facility, the closer we got to those bizarre tentacles. We were just way too curious about this platform area with rocks and jump pads, so we just had to check it out, so rock climbing it is. This had us uncovering crates on our way up, and interestingly enough, deviant spawning pods are on this strange rock formation, so the tentacles can't be good. At the top, we got the Mystic Crate, finishing the town completion here, but still have not found the story location. It was at dusk under purple skies that we finally noticed the quest marker, but just as we were about to reach the location, Alpha and I died of hypothermia, so while we're trying to get our booty cheeks back, Pixel concluded that the Rosetta troops are harvesting those stone tentacles, which is interesting and worrisome. We finally got to reunite with the boys after tons of slaughtering at midnight. So the next morning, we used an elevator to reach the mission objective. On the roof, V points out a passage leading down, which should bring us to the lab, but before heading on down, I found a new deviation, a dark rebel version of the Fetch-a-Lot. It has another trait called Toxologist, which we'll have to figure out in time. Having entered the lab, we can see a large ice hand that seems to be from a Chaos Weaver, but also one of fire. V states they seem to be trying to make living machines, which was a plan that he vetoed back when he was a human working for Rosetta. We did end up finding a dying soldier here, whom we pried for information to no avail, as he had already taken a cyanide pill and said that we are too late, which gives us a very bad feeling. The story leads us back inside the mountain by the stone tentacles, where V remarks that this is a natural nest for living machines, and Rosetta must have figured out how to incubate and dissect them in order to learn how to control them. He assumes they are using the vultures to enact the plans of their experiments, as they know how dangerous it can be, saving their own skin that way. We need to inform Veronica of what we've discovered, so we made our way on back to Bear's Den. By now, Goat had made the coupe, which is a two-man vehicle, since it's a faster ride, by the way. Once we arrived, we brought this information to Veronica, and she says this is really bad, since Rosetta has given this information to the vultures, as they most likely plan to put this into their own incomplete machines to further devastate the column. She wants us to stop them if we possibly can. To progress the story, we need to reach a place called Frostforge, which is recommended for level 30, and we are not quite there yet, so we're going to put a pin on the story and concentrate more on us thriving here rather than just surviving. So we all went back to base and discussed a plan, during which I placed a few more deviations up in the bedroom. Meanwhile, Goat and Alpha were taking a cruise over the Golden Gate Bridge and enjoying the view. The plan we came up with is that Goat and Alpha will go obliterate Hive Rail over and over for supply runs, as it gives us what we need at our level, while Pixel and I keep the facilities working here, like the smelters and the farms, for which Space Goat gave me a chainsaw, which will greatly help speed things up here. The boys took a lot of the afternoon hours to cautiously go over their blueprints for what they will be wearing, so it was first at 10 p.m. when the boys set out on their raid of Hive Rail. So, acting out our plans on day 22, Pixel was working on getting some composters running to get these crop plots seeded, and the boys were just having a blast doing their thing. In the meantime, I was also working on the building itself, wanting to improve its design, and also note that Pixel made a new helmet to cover up his natural beauty. I eventually lent him a hand with the farm after all of that, as the plants are affected by rain, snow, light, etc. It's a whole hassle, so we spent the majority of the day trying to figure this out. As for the boys, they're just simply doing what they do best.
This one.
Oh, God damn it!
no!
Oh, for fuck's sake! Same thing as in draft.
We were slowly approaching phase 2 of the Way of Winter, so even though we cannot yet process aluminum, we are able to mine it, so I stocked up on it in anticipation of that. The boys returned from their first expedition the next morning, and Go took some time to help with setting up some more electricals for a new groundwater pump system that Pixel wanted to work on. We then all just continued with the same tasks that we had been doing. Towards the end of the day, I was organizing our deviations by light color to at least make some of them a bit happier. Day 24 started with Goat rearranging the wiring of the lights that I had done since I did such a trash job, and Alpha was just grinding for resources solo, but he didn't mind as he only cared for shedding the blood of his enemies. As sunlight came in, Pixel gave me a tour of the new water system he had set up. In short, we have a pump to collect underground water that with another pump flows up to a tank to the level of our rainwater collection. All the water that we are getting is dirty, but it all flows into a water filter that then flows into a tank for clean water used for the plants or our own consumption. We noticed that the hydronaut fish that was fiddling with the new water filter, somehow it's getting fish from it, which we collect from its containment facility. Conveniently enough, I already had set up an aquarium, so I guess we now have a pet pike. During the process of sorting the deviation room, I ended up making an attic, which will be our bedroom, but at this point, Pixel is so heavily invested in his garden that he has turned that into his bedroom. Even Goat worked on the base by making a large expansion for his garage to free up space for Pixel's garden. But man, Camp Caps is progressing quite smoothly thus far. It feels very homey, kind of like a barn with just enough space for our needs. In the late hours, Alpha came home to deposit his goods and to also craft our first synthesis bench, where we can craft tactical items and explosives. The planted crops, however, are growing very slowly. Without being able to unlock better equipment, we are at a bit of a standstill until phase 2. On day 25, the quarter mark, Goat had set up lights everywhere so we're not working in the dark anymore, and things continued as they had been with more work around the base, resource gathering, and Hive Rail raiding. One of the highlights was that Pixel set up a fridge so our food doesn't spoil as fast anymore, and Goat was setting up a zip line to access the solar panels on the roof. We're really proud of our camp. It is our pride and joy. I then decided to just head out on a road trip to check out the neighboring area, which is when I found an ice rock that hurts you when you're too close. It does drop a glowing ice rock and I could pick it up, but I just couldn't figure out its intended purpose just yet. Either way, having built a really good starting base and progressed really well, we met up at the end of the 25th day on our rooftop and reminisced of all that we've accomplished, and then went on inside our humble abode to get a good night's sleep. As they say, winter is coming, and we are unsure of what awaits us in the morning. And here we are! Phase 2 is in effect as we hit day 26. Weather is going to get more extreme, Ember Strand is unlocked, hard mode dungeons are available, new blueprints can be unlocked, and we are officially in season 2 of rewards. Upon heading outside, we see Pixel's farm was starting to bear fruit, so we just need to speed up this process. Also, we have to move base, as we realize that Chaos Weavers can be a base wipe event if they spawn near you, and we are near several spawn points, so we are going to move to Venna Fjord soon. Because of the increasing cold, I unlocked Temperature Control 3, which is when Goat traded me 2 batteries so I could place down this here electric heater for us. We're also now able to learn how to smelt aluminum ingots all the way up to tungsten, but these require acid to smelt, so we need an acid farm ASAP. Alpha set out to scout for an area that has stardust contamination, with no near Chaos Weaver spawn points for this farm. Goat got a medium garage placed down, and Pixel tended to the farm, harvesting and replanting. Goat then focused on the electricals of our base, as solar panels are just not cutting it anymore. As for me, well, I scouted for the safer base location, so I got to see more and more of the server being populated as I went on. The goal is to find a place in the snowy mountains, hoping that Chaos Weavers cannot be lured up to this new base. During my expedition, I did come across some areas that had temperatures of -25, but we can't insulate ourselves that much yet. I did later though find a nice place where the temperature is just right, is elevated with a nice view, and has an active waterfall and bridge behind us, which makes this place quite unique. So I placed the base here, but we're going to have to remodel and fortify it. At night, once we had settled in, most of us went to gather tons of gravel as we needed it for upgrading the base to stone tier. This grind continued into day 27 as this region is lacking in resource nodes, but further north at this waterway there is tons of gravel, so Pixel and I were kept busy here. During this, he entered a foggy minigame and found a Gatling gun, which was used to defeat some enemies. The reward for completing this event was a loot chest and the deviant called Mini Feaster, which is another combat deviant. Eventually, Alpha found a good spot for our acid farm, which was towards the ocean. Meanwhile, I died from hypothermia and just took that as a ticket home, where I began to convert the base into brick, aka stone tier. But this remodeling was going to take a while, so while I was doing this, the boys researched how to make a proper acid farm, and to be efficient in this, Pixel would be leading this project, while Alpha and Goat would be gathering resources for it. But we already hit a snag. See, we don't have everything unlocked to build it, so Pixel was trying to knock out some Mitsuko objectives from the season goals for some easy ciphers to unlock the needed memetics. And his efforts paid off as day 28 began with Pixel unlocking all memetics needed, and thus he began to prepare items for the build. During this, I was trying to make the base more cozy, and the redesign is slowly taking form, with the bottom layer now made with bricks, but it's all still a bit messy, and I had to pause this task for now, as the four of us needed to explore new areas to find the next tiers of crafting materials like special parts, automated parts, etc., to build the acid farm, new power generators, grow lights for the farm, basically everything moving forward. Our destination was the Avalanche Monolith Danger Zone, so we glided our way on down to the spot and did this town completion as fast as possible. It's a very small section to clear, not even a full town really, so it was wrapped up in a flash, and sadly, this all was for naught as we didn't get any new materials. So the next day, we figured our best bet to progress was to follow the quest line to Frost Forge. We are to investigate the vultures building a giant anima there. We were making our way over there when Alpha found a camera that upon use gave him the final bit of starcrom that he needed to soon buy his main weapon. Sadly, we weren't able to reach the forge though, as it's too cold for our setups. We'll need better insulation first. To solve this, our scriptwriter 7th recommended that we look for bear hide, so we all scouted for some. Alpha and Goat simply did this their own way though. I did find seals, which gives the same cold resistance, just not as good of a secondary bonus, so the squad was zooming in on my location to get that sweet blubber.
Alright, you may do the honors.
Turns out, only one person can harvest an animal at a time, so it's every man for themselves as we set out to skin bears for the entire day. I even killed a couple bears at someone's backyard. Once we gathered enough, we began to head home at sundown, and decided it's time to begin working towards our endgame builds. So once we arrived, Alfahor bought himself the M416 Silent Anabasis blueprint with his Starcrom, as he'll be making a Frost build. However, he did craft it at tier 4, which means he can first equip it once he reaches level 30. So on day 30, it took us till noon to figure out our build. For me, I planned to be our support, so I followed a guide from HOD to make a Fortress Warfare build. I made the long axe, which can place the Fortress Warfare AoE, and I already have the key item being leather boots, which provides HP recovery when in Fortress. All armor we made next uses bear or seal hide for better cold resistance, but we don't have the blueprints for our final gear, so it's all improv at this stage. I got 2 Snow Panther pieces to be buffed with allies nearby, and 2 agent pieces to provide a buff to weak spot damage, and I'll continue to rock my snapshot deviation. As for the boys, they all began to follow guides from Dumeris. Pixel made an agent set for general damage improvements as he is going for a shrapnel build. Goat is going for a fire build, so he made 3 pieces of heavy duty armor for as much elemental damage buffing as he can get. Plus he has the barbecue gloves as his key item, which provides a burn damage stacking bonus. He'll also buy the pyroclasm starter shotgun down the line to become his main weapon, and will use the invincible sun deviation once he gets one with better stats. As for Alpha, he's just staying the way he is until he gets better blueprints unlocked. We then set out to the Frost Forge once more, as we are all hovering around 50 cold resistance with this gear, hetium, and food. But aside the elements, we are still a threat to ourselves.
I'm on my way. I'm almost there. Won't take that
Goat
long.
is also on his way.
Yeah, this
He
was
is
not planned though. This was.
He is inside the facility. I repeat, he is inside the facility.
Upon reaching the mission locale late in the afternoon, V immediately tells us this industrial plant is a vulture's hornet's nest and looks like they are busy building a giant fire hand, aka Anima, aka Chaos Weaver. There were odd portals lining the place, and teleporting through one landed me in a place with lots of hands protruding from the ground. Because of this confusion, we all got separated for a bit, and inside I found an NPC called Igna's Messenger, who was pretty much immune to most damage I could dish out. He was guarding the Mystic Crate, which I looted right in front of him, because, you know, if you can't beat him, ignore them. But eventually we did regroup and combined our forces to slay the Messenger, which was satisfying. To get to the next quest markers, we figured we're going to utilize these here portals, but when I popped out of the one that I entered before, I was downed by the respawned enemies. Upon picking myself up, I saw that I was joined by another player who was aiding in taking this place down. And while we're trying to find our way through this maze, we are doing tons of town completion, but this place was difficult. Plus, our suspicions were confirmed that yes, they are building giant living machines here, as there's one being assembled right in front of us. During all of this, Alpha reached level 30 and began to use his new ice weapon that he had forged and was loving every second of it as it makes explodable ice shards. We had much to do, but eventually through hordes of vultures, at the end of the day, this town's completion was done. While cleaning up stragglers into day 31, Goat reached level 30, allowing him to equip his new fire weapon, so we got a fire and ice combo on the team, which is sick. As we approached a cave entrance, V insisted that we check it out for clues, and thus we ventured on inside, and turns out it's an active mine shaft, so we might as well harvest some tungsten while we're down here. Descending deeper and deeper, it became an icy tunnel with zip lines, and at the end of it was the exact same room that I was in the first time with all the hands coming from the floor. However, this time there is a Rosetta researcher amongst the vultures who says that we can't turn off the machine that's powering this facility unless the Chaosium, the power source, is messed with. Thus, we're tasked to collect Chaosium around the base and shoved it into the furnace and set it to overload. And that portal looks like a fast way to safety. We fought tooth and nail to get our cheeks on out of there, as this place was lit up like the 4th of July. So with that done and dusted, V tells us to head back to Veronica to relay the info of what's happened. While back in Bear's Den, we bought some Starcrom crates and some weapon attachments. After that, told Veronica of how things were worse over there than expected with the Vulture's progress and all that. So she says that we should move on to the Ember Strand to try and find Roland. We'll get to that, but for now we accepted new weekly commissions and headed back home in the evening, where we were greeted with Goat, mixing us some drinks behind the new bar in the garage. This place is going to turn into the stereotypical man cave, I can see it now. And also, small fun fact for y'all, Goat is the only person IRL who manages to make Bloody Marys the way that I like them. 5 stars, I assure you all. Our first batch of tungsten was set to smelt right after that, and the garage received some extra decor to fulfill its new role. Pixel then bought his new main gun, that being this Lego-like LMG for some good shrapnel damage, while Goat bought his to-be main weapon, the automatic shotgun, the Pyroclasm. Both got their weapons crafted, and Alpha set out to hunt some bears to make his key armor piece with it. As for me, I was a bit behind on my gear, as what I need was not available for straight up purchase yet in the shop, so against my own judgment, I started to gamba my hard-earned Starcrom. I got a whole lot of blueprints out of this, and surprisingly got the weapon blueprint that I wanted, and then crafted the Autumn Equinox, my main weapon. So that leaves all of us to just complete our armor sets and upgrade what we want. To end off the day, I learned the mimetic to capture animals, so we're back in the business of taming. I even got some feed unlocked should I choose to make a farm to make this, and also a youngling hut should we end up breeding some animals. Day 32 started with Alpha going rampant on some polar bears as he seems to have found their nest, and Pixel placed an electric stove, opening up his lists of recipes greatly. So he got to make some canned meat, which boosts his shrapnel capabilities, and some new dishes were crafted as well for better temperature resistances, which we all will be happy to make use of. Alpha, having returned with his bear hide, made the key item Frost Tactical Vest to improve his frost abilities greatly. At dawn, we did notice that one of Pixel's plans had a glow to it, meaning that he got a deviated ingredient, which is great to boost the special effects from dishes even further. I also got to make some tranquilizer throwing needles in case we came across any animals that we want to tame while we went out and joined another one of those jelly events. We just have way too much fun every single time that we got to do this, and it's good for endgame. Once done, we decided to head to a level 20 silo just for fun, thinking that it was a new one, but turns out it is the same Rosetta facility that we did, the one with the claw machine at the end, so we just blasted straight on through. As for important loot, I got an orb lightning deviation out of this, which improves turret performance, and Goat got an extra dimensional cat, which gives a buff from sleeping. And just like that, we all passed the dungeon, but we're hungry for more. A nice surprise was that on day 33, we got mail from the devs with some goodies inside. It seems there was a server issue that we didn't even notice, and this is their way of thanking us for being patient, I suppose, which is very nice of them, and that gave Pixel just the push that he needed to purchase the DE Wildfire pistol, which he also made, so he is done with weapons for now. Goat then gambled to see if he could get his Fire Rune boots, the key item that he needs, but no dice this time around. Up next, since we enjoy doing silos so much, we went over to Securement Silo KSI as we just hit the recommended level for it. This one seems to be a high-tech laboratory from Rosetta near where we're going to make our acid farm. We popped in, and it seems like it's an excavation site of sorts where we fought corrupted Rosetta soldiers, and there were a lot of them.
My healing is insane. I just noticed how much I heal. Holy moly.
Further down the tunnels, there was fancy lighting all over the place, which was interesting because we assumed this was a dig site. But man, this place was not all smooth sailing since the enemies here are quite strong and keep us knocked down. Later in a larger room, we claimed a strange door deviation, which lets you craft portals to place around your base, and later the boys moved past laser grids all secret agent style and managed to deactivate them, allowing Pixel and myself to pass through unscathed. More rooms were cleared, more laser traps were passed, till we got to a room that was covered in ice.
That's a giant fridge.
This is what happens when you don't clean your fridge, kids. We have a classic case of college fridge.
Oh, they're climbing up.
Oh,
Watch out, what's that big thing? Oh, it's a big boy! It's a big boy! Oh, I'm dead!
Oh, he spawned.
Oh, I'm dead again! Oh, this is bad.
Retreat!
My elemental brothers! Free a path!
fire!
I am being burnt alive!
Oh no, we can't leave!
Holy shit, it's a glutton!
Whoa, he's glitching through! Shoot! Where the fuck are you, Goat?
It's dead.
So, Pixel, you chillin'?
This win goes to Goat and Alpha. We would not have managed without them. Besides the loot of the end chest, we got ice pot deviations, which produce tactical items that lets you place cubes for cover or for a lift if you so please. Back at base, we did some upkeep, and I deposited the orb lightning so we can get some items to boost our turrets. Goat and Alpha, our designated ammo crafters, made a ton and passed it to Pixel and I, as they have specs for 30% more output. And then we decided to level up a bit more so we can progress the story, and what better way to do that than to fight a demon overlord in a monolith. So we went to face the Treant, wasting no time at all to get to the Great One's lair, prepped to do battle with my old foe.
It is a big tree monster with a lady on its back, and the lady is the weak point. And that's all you gotta know. It does a couple of other fancy stuff, but I'm sure we are going to be fine. So he has some minions, and if you guys see this tentacle here at the left, you shoot that core. And you break that tentacle. And we just gotta break, I think, a total of 3. All right, so the tentacles are broken. We have 120 seconds to attack the treant. Up on the blue spot on its back. That's where you gotta aim at. Camera on my back. I choose you. Holy crap, I'm dead. I'm dead. What the f just happened? Pepper it with lead, boys. Oh, jump over those waves. You gotta jump over them.
Oh, I'm frozen.
Watch out. Oh! I'm shooting Alpha's ice crystal. The ice crystals
nice.
are so cool. I'm using them. Whoa! I got obliterated.
I'm gonna shoot.
And he's dead.
Nice.
First try, boys, but that honestly was harder than I expected.
As for our rewards, we got some tar pudding deviations, which will help us produce fuel, along with the final loot crate, of course. The next day, we wanted to change things up a bit by going on a small fishing expedition. So with rods crafted and some bait bought, we went to the Surge of Fish event, hoping to land an electric eel deviation.
Holy fuck! Hi! No. Oh, fuck. I gotta go. Oh, shit.
As we arrived, we found that we would be fishing in a hailstorm, but that did not deter us from our goal.
I got an electric eel!
No
Let's
way!
go! Very nice.
That does not look like an eel. That looks like a peel-up box.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's a conga line of AAA batteries.
Well, that was faster than expected, and that's a good thing because this thing is fantastic at boosting electrical production facilities, so we will have more power back at home. We kept up the fishing till the event had ended, and then went back to Camp Caps, where Alpha deposited his eel to get it to work ASAP. As for the remaining hours of the day, we just discussed heavily on how we should progress. So after spending some time touching up on the man cave the next day, making it our favorite room in the entire base, we decided to head to the creepy hand symbol, known as entrance to the Zone of Haze, wondering if it might help us level up. So after some quick travel, we eventually reached the rather ominous entryway to this dungeon, and we found out it's unlocked in Phase 3, but that's fine. That's fine because it's ranked level 60, which is high since 50 is max level for players. So our next best bet is to head on over to continue the story and try to find Roland in the Ember Strand. We are underleveled but overskilled, so it balances out. We eventually reach the fort by a crashed airplane, but instead of Roland, we find his assistant, Brody, who Alpha points out looks like Leon from Resident Evil. He's the second in command. As for Roland, he led a charge 2 days ago to push back vultures, but he never returned. There's been no trace of him since then, so it's believed that he's been captured. Brody also asks how everyone in the column has been doing and is relieved when we say that everyone is fine. As for our mission, we are to head to the Fire God Research Center as he assumes that Roland is held there. We took a broader glance at our surroundings, having entered the Ember Strand for the first time, and all the snow here seems to have melted, seeing some hot water in the distance as well as a massive volcano. Things are changing up real fast. Now, we are aware of how urgent it is to save Roland, but if he hasn't been killed by now, we doubt that they'll kill him out of the blue, so we took some time to explore this new region. Our exploration very quickly turned into an onslaught of innocent Rosetta soldiers, but innocent and Rosetta never go together, so this is fine, especially since we were getting higher tier materials that we needed here.
Wo ist hier ein verfickter Sniper? Oh, hi!
Once we had our fill, we headed off to activate another teleporter tower near a large bridge. Here we are right next to where Roland was being held. However, a little north was another Sproutlet truck. Oh, the scales of fate do not favor Roland at all. As we are tracking down that truck, we were slowly starting to overheat, so we are facing new temperature obstacles. Sadly, in this pursuit, Pixel died as apparently following the truck's path leads you out of bounds of the map into the dead zone. So, Alpha, Goat, and I would enjoy killing one another once more. Mainly Alpha though, since he is leading in DPS by a mile at this point. During all of these shenanigans, Pixel was taking advantage of the new materials to make tier 4 weapons to end off the day. So by following his lead into the next morning, Goat upgraded his shotgun to tier 4, Alpha made a tier 4 Frost tactical vest as a Frost key item, and I made a rudimentary animal pen besides the garage. At midday, Goat finally managed to place a hydraulic generator for more power, while I headed out to try and tame a bison. And after spotting my prey and weakening it, managed to successfully KO one with a dart and got a hold of it as it disappeared into my pocket. I know Pokeball tech when I see it, you ain't fooling me. By looking at this menu, we understand that we need to keep the taming percentage of the animal up to get byproducts from them. Animals also come in different grades, however, they have yet to understand the term of personal boundaries as they truly made themselves at home here. While I was trying to fix up the pen, Goat was helping Pixel with electricals on his grow lights. I later figured out how to solve the animal problem by using regular walls instead of defensive structures, so I guess that's taken care of. And it was at this time where we also closed off the farm to have full light control over the plant's growth. As for Alpha, he was gathering more parts in the Ember Strand and just knocking himself out with it. Later in the evening, Pixel got more securement silos placed down, so we got a few new deviation friends running around, but this room is going to need some organizing. So I hopped onto it on day 37 to get them all comfortable, while Pixel was out foraging for plants for the farm and animals, and Goat had joined Alpha on his expedition into the Ember Strand. They eventually returned, so Goat handed me some batteries that he had made, which I used to make a cooling fan which some of the deviations want. But man, I caused a cable management nightmare in here, but it had to be done, and Goat's gonna have to figure this out again.
What the hell happened? Bro.
Yeah, don't ask. Don't ask. I don't. No. It's very important. I don't want to hear it.
Due to our increasing power demands, Goat removed some solar panels to place down better electrical production units. And during all of this, Alpha decided to do a workshop event nearby to see what rewards it gives. Later, with Goat's work completed on the power, both the heater and cooling fan could be on max capacity, so we are accommodating all of these little guys. And once Alpha had slayed hordes of enemies in the workshop event, he noticed from the rewards that this is a good place for us to farm cortexes, which will get us more Starcrom. In the late evening, Pixel had returned from his adventure, and he lent me a hand with that green thumb of his by setting up some plants which some of the deviations need to be satisfied. More random yet necessary things were done to start the next morning. Goat was out completing minor objectives for bits of Starcrom, Pixel was scouting the lands for crops, and Alpha and I were completing commissions for Easy Energy Link and XP. Once we had enough of that, Alpha wanted to show me how the workshop event works that he did earlier, and Pixel's new haul of ingredients let him produce superfood that provides cold and heat resistance, which we desperately needed. Once Alpha and I completed the workshop event and got our rewards, we decided to build a defense base for farming Starcrom, and down our waterfall, Goat already had made a test build, and we chose that to be our build site. And during this, Pixel found some corn, so he was excited for his own reasons. The tower was coming along and being built out of stone, Alpha was sent off to get iron to produce more ammo, and Goat made a zip line to work between the tower and HQ, so we worked as a team to get supplies down there to make the Stardust Resonator in the core. This turns cortexes into Starcrom, but attracts monsters during the purification process. We worked into day 39 to give this tower its form. Was it ideal? Probably not, but we didn't know any better, but I'm sure we'll be fine. We were busy as bees perfecting it, and Goat placed our first biomass generator in the core to power auto turrets. We then were all filling out a survey on what we liked about the game, and that gave Goat the Starcrom he needed to purchase the second weapon blueprint for his build. At about midday, the tower was looking beefy, and Goat was getting turrets placed down along 4 securement silos in the basement. In them, we placed territory deviations for defense, while the paper doll should repair structures. At least that's what we hope it does. A lot of the day was spent making this place the best that it could be, so first by midnight, it was ready to roll. To warm up on day 40, we'd use a tier 2 cortex for the purification, since we didn't have the max tier cortex, which is level 3, and we didn't know how hard this was going to be. So we reunited at daybreak at the tower and gave this a whirl.
Purification is in progress. Okay, keep your eyes peeled. At some point, they're going to start. Your remaining purification time is basically 5 minutes. They're spawning down the waterfall. Honestly, the base we have going here is so easy to defend. Yeah, I think we're just also getting lucky on where they're deciding to spawn. Speaking of that, though, they're coming down the ledge. Oh, that thing in the back there is a big boy. Snipe it down. Beam it.
Ah!
Oh, yeah, they broke through some sandbags. All right. Yep. All right. Hole is patched. Whoa. Oh, what? Oh, big guy.
Oh, there he is.
Big guy.
Oh yeah, he's not playing around.
Oh yeah, he's damaging some of our walls, but those ice spikes from Alpha make it smooth as butter.
That one buffalo in particular.
All right. And that's done and over with. Journey complete.
Receiving nearly 1k Starcrom, this is definitely worth it. So we went ahead and did more tier 2 waves. The Starcrom was flowing nicely thanks to this, and we didn't want it to stop. So in the evening, we grinded the workshop for some more tier 2 cortexes.
Oh, they're fast.
Yep.
Guys, other side.
The day was ended with another Stardust defense. It's lucrative and enjoyable, but note, you can only use a limited amount per week. With this increase in Starcrom, Alpha purchased his secondary weapon, the AWS Bullseye, which he immediately crafted, and I'll admit, I was jealous, so I completed a bunch of tiny tasks to get the Starcrom needed to get one too.
Hi, Alpha. Hi. How you doing? How you doing, Alpha?
What? Ah!
Hi, Goat.
What? Get him.
Oh, shit. Oh,
We playing props here? Where did our prop go? Darn it.
Alright, I'm good.
Eventually, I got enough to purchase the same sniper as my secondary. While I had been doing this, Pixel was just replanting the farm, while Alpha and Goat were ransacking everything and anything till we regrouped to find Roland. He had been waiting long enough. We began to infiltrate the compound with great ease using our new weapons, though Goat had his own plans on how to go about this. And man, not even the heaviest of soldiers here could stand before us. We just gunned them down and blasted our way on through till we entered a lab with a test tube with a rabbit inside. Seems like they're monitoring what Chaosium does to living beings, and according to some documents here, they have reached 3 of 5 expected goals. What these goals are, who can really say, but they can't be good, as they're trying to find ways to make super soldiers that they are able to control. We moved on further and ended up in a construction area where we noticed a large hand protruding out of lava. The flowers on that hand remind me of the last boss that I fought in my solo run, so that can't be good. And according to these next documents, it seems that Chaosium originated as stardust that transformed due to the environment of the northern areas of Nalcott, and is also much more unstable than stardust. During this raid, Goat died to, well, honestly, avoidable circumstances. He never heard that the floor is lava, it seems. So for the rest of the evening, while waiting on Goat's return, we just did the town completion list here. That was all completed in the early hours of day 42, so we were going to continue the story, but Roland once more had to wait because it's jelly time. We leave no sproutlets unclaimed.
Pixels.
Ah, nice.
Vad är du fe?
Fuck you too.
What the? From what?
My sniper. Yep.
Yeah, it's
Oh, this
very
is
hard.
very nice. Oh, huh? He fucking axe murdered me.
No, sir. No, sir.
After all that horsing around, we once more returned to see what is up with Roland.
Oh, he's coming. Oh, he's coming. Who's there? Hi.
We didn't find the man, but we did find some prisoners. We talked to them, and turns out that Roland had already escaped when he was being experimented on, but this is his team, so of course we will save them. We had to clear a path to a portal for them to get to safety, and this was easier than expected, so they hopped on through, and on the other side, Lucas thanked us and told us that Roland might have fled to a nearby town called Oblivion. Looking at that quest, we are still a bit behind on level for this story, so we went home and Pixel purchased 2 pieces of Stormweaver armor for his meta set, and to make those, him and Alpha went out to hunt some bears for some pelt. Might as well make them cold resistant while he's at it. Once he crafted those 2 pieces, making him the furthest to build completion, Goat was the first to buy a mod for his face mask using the sproutlets that we had been grinding. We then regrouped at the workshop in order to farm more cortexes using these tier 3 activation cards, and they ramp up the difficulty quite a bit, so much so that we failed our first attempt, but we adapted for round 2, so it was going a little bit better, but still quite hard, and we just barely managed to complete this by the skin of our teeth. On day 43, we did our final Star Crumb purification for the week, which got Alpha to level 40, granting him a specialization for Stardust mining. We then agreed that we need to unlock things in the Ember Strand, so we went on a tour of the region looking for teleporter towers and rift anchors. Goat was choosing the lesser used roads, let's just say, and after a very bumpy ride, we saw that the Capsmobile was about to blow, so we continued on bike. We later stumbled upon new wildlife, so I captured a goat to bring back home, and Pixel tried to fish in lava. There is an achievement for this, but it requires a better rod. Looting higher tier areas, we got cards to grind for better cortexes later, and Goat apparently had a good rod to cast, landing a fire frog deviation from the lava, which improves smelting speeds. And a huge salmon. How that's possible, I have no idea, don't ask me. We also noticed this region is the vulture's home as they are getting much tougher and larger in numbers. We even found a place where they were battling against deviants, specifically a big boy called Scorcher. We joined in the fun and in this mess found a deviation securement unit from which I claimed a paper butterfly. We fought tooth and nail, managing to secure the anchor, which was our goal here, but notice the temperature was flippin' 85 Celsius here. It's a matter of time before we'd melt, so we looted everything fast and skedaddled. That outing was worth it as we got automatic parts, which was the key to making the acid farm that we almost forgot that we wanted to make. But the highlights to end off the day was that I was able to place the final tier workbenches now, so top tier gear was now at our fingertips. The next morning, I was gathering honeysuckle to feed our tames, while Pixel was directing the boys on what materials he'd need for the acid farm build, so everyone was quite busy. During my grind, I ended up at an event in the mountains to fight Rosetta, which a random player was already doing, so I just hopped on straight in. We were to defend the tower that was charging up while fighting off waves of troops, and sometimes had to do some decrypting by the tower, which seemed to ramp up the event to legendary difficulty as more and more soldiers appeared, but we just cleared that event after beating the big old boss, and that there got me to level 40. All of the cradle abilities are now usable to me. The rest of the day was pretty straightforward as the boys were harvesting tungsten for the acid farm, and I was tending to the animals as they are bottomless food pits, so I dabbled with making feed, hoping it would keep them sated. And it did pay off on day 45 as the bison started to produce milk. Great success. So I took it upon myself to knock out a male bison, hoping to get a whole herd going. Once morning set in, basically everything was set for the acid farm. All it needed now was to be powered, they said. Also, I'll be leaving a link to the guide that I followed for this build. As for me, I was fed up with having to cross the entire map all the time to get food for the animals, so I began making a farm for animal feed, but was struggling with the light amounts. So Pixel helped me out with that since the boys were busy making tungsten ingots, so while he's setting up grow lights, I slaughtered the worst bison we had and got some pristine beef, which would make Pixel happy. In the late afternoon, the UV light for the honeysuckle farm was done, so we then paid a visit to the acid farm as I hadn't seen it yet. In short, the pumps pull in polluted water from the ground, pass it to an osmosis purifier to make impure acid, that then passes on and eventually gets mixed with purified water in beer barrels at the front to make acid. It was also noticed that there is some stardust ore here too, so Alpha put down a mining operation center. But I digress, we still need to power this facility, so Goat made an advanced hydro generator which produces good power, but we're going to need some more. A bunch of electrical switches were placed, which Pixel used to hook up the wiring of this complicated piece of machinery. We set the mining platform to get tungsten for now since we ran out and we do need to make more power generation facilities to get this place fully operational ASAP. One of them was placed the next day, but we're going to need at least 3 more. So we went back to HQ to prepare to grind to make them, so Alpha provided us with tungsten pickaxes there, but we're not just off to the strand to grind some ores, but also materials like automatic parts. So once more, we rampaged across the vulture-infested lands.
Oh, shit. Happy. Happy.
What the fuck?
I want to assassinate him.
After getting all the fancy schmancy drops and good materials at this outpost, we decided to direct our rampage northwards to a place called Serpent's Tail as we're on a roll.
Well, Crow, you betrayed me. I'm dead.
What?
It's like,
No way.
It's like, I'm going to follow Crow. Oh, there's a giant cliff which he missed by a fucking hair. I'm falling into the cliff.
I am not taking the blame for that.
The raid began as daytime left us, but it was a bit tougher than expected. The fights were getting quite heated. The added bonus to pillaging this place, though, is that we booped the final rift anchor needed to unlock the fire dust monolith. No great one will escape our beatings, mark my words. This grind continued into day 47, just pillaging through vulture territories as tough as it was, but we made sure to unlock more towers and simply explore the region some more. Goat here also figured out that it can in fact get hotter, reaching up to 75 Celsius, so that's a problem we'll have to solve down the line. We did, however, come to the conclusion that we're going to need weapon upgrades for sure, as the enemies aren't dropping fast enough anymore, but we just pressed on till we got home at night to disassemble all of these amazing goodies we collected. Because of all the grinding that we did, Goat was able to get 3 more advanced hydraulic generators placed at the acid farm, so we are full steam ahead on this operation. We then took a look at our builds and checked for minor upgrades that we could do. Alpha made his Anabasis as a tier 5, so I did the same for my Autumn Equinox and Bullseye Sniper. And slowly but surely, we were also getting some armor crafted here and there, but we ran out of energy link fast, which is needed for virtually everything in this game, so we spent the majority of the day just researching multiple ways on how to get this stuff as it was slowing down our momentum. I did, however, at the end of the day, manage to buy a really sick mod for my main gun using sproutlets, and this bad boy is going to improve my Fortress Warfare related buffs greatly. In hopes to get more energy link, we decided to do the lowest level silo on hard difficulty on day 49. We don't meet the level requirement for this per se, but I'm sure we'll be able to pull it off. But before hopping in, Goat managed to get another electric eel deviation for another power boost. Doing this dungeon like this posed its fair share of difficulty, but it was tons of fun. And not just that, we noticed that the resources we were looting were the same as at the Ember Strand, so we were even happier to be doing this, but the difficulty quickly changed our tone.
Oh, I'm down. I thought I didn't know they came down. Oh, okay, he's down here. Well, I'm down again. Fuck.
Here, I'll get Crow. He has a little less time. You
Oh.
cover me.
I can't do shit.
Okay,
I have to
Pixel.
heal.
Look at this teamwork.
Here, in my circle. Watch out, jump. Oh, fuck, that didn't work.
He's immune.
Oh, yeah, watch out. Oh, there's 3 of it. Whoa.
What the fuck? Ah, these are.
You're not that strong.
Yeah, we have to clear the after images because it'll make him regain HP if they stay around too long.
Oh, fuck.
Oh.
Watch out, jump.
Oh, I always dodge.
Oh, oh, jump.
Woo!
Fuck.
Whoa! Two. I
It's up
couldn't
to you,
jump
Alpha.
both. You got it, Alpha.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I'm almost dead.
oh,
Oh,
wait,
wait,
you
you're
still
still enemies.
fighting?
Yeah, you gotta
Wait,
heal.
wait.
Heal.
Enemies!
Out of all of the goodies, Pixel got a tier 3 Cortex, which isn't bad at all. We are absolutely going to use that later. That just made the whole fight worth it. We also got boxes that lets us pick between 2 legendary mods, which makes this even more worth doing. We then just did some upkeep that was desperately needed at base, and Goat noticed that he also got a better version of the Invincible Sun for his build, so that's fantastic. And the resources allowed Pixel to make his key item in tier 5, and we all also now had all of our weapons at max tier. They can be improved further, but this is good for now. Once we were all set, we headed back to the silo for a second run because this is just way too much fun to not do again. We faced the dreaded boss of this run at the start of day 50. Better prepared this time, having faced him once already, and it's noticeable that we have improved our performance against him knowing his moves. From this run, I got a Voodoo Doll deviation, which is a combat type that shares damage that I take with the enemy, and we also all have seemed to have gotten an Artisan Hand deviation at some point. And honestly, this dude is awesome. It gives you items that lets you repair gear on the go. Upon exiting, we saw that the jelly truck was near our base. How convenient. So of course, you know we're going to be blasting ourselves all over again.
What the fuck? No, sir.
Ah! No! Stupid bison!
Yeah, kill him, Bison.
No,
Ah, they killed me.
please,
Killed
go.
you.
We were then just doing random activities to try and get more energy links through minor objectives, like trying to fish in the lava, and Goots and Alpha were doing their commissions, while Pixel was maintaining the acid and mining facility.
Crow, I'll be next to you dying, if you don't mind, so then you can pick up my stuff. I'll try and... Oh, no.
I kept fishing till I got a flame essence, and with that I got the Mitsuko marks needed to get enough star crumb that I could finally purchase my first armor piece blueprint, the Bastille helmet. This set is sick for my fortress tanking, as when HP is 70% or above, my weapon damage will increase. But yeah, we are halfway through, and once the day had ended, we decided to hit the hay, reminiscing of our time spent here in Phase 2, excited to see what would come at us in the next one. Upon loading in on day 51, the start of Phase 3, we got a lot of Starcrum and gifts because of some updates, as well because our server had killed Chaos Weavers, but man, the cold already had us dropping like flies.
Minus 30, ja, nur hier unten, Mart. Ah, minus 50, no! No! Oh, I'm gonna die! Yeah, I'm dead.
That is pretty crazy, though.
Having to turn off the AC for the deviations and all of us huddling together to warm up by the heater, I soon stepped out onto the balcony to confirm my suspicions. We are now in the Ice Age, it seems. This phase feels like a deadly winter wonderland already. Pixel got straight to whipping up some warming dishes, and we all topped off our heatiums logically. What made us super happy was that our automated farm had been working perfectly. Pixel just needs to gather a few more ingredients out in the wild. And because of our recent Starcrum increase, I bought 3 more Bastille armor pieces, now having 4 in total, and Goat purchased his key item, the Fire Rune boots, as well as the Shelterer hood, mask, and jacket. Alpha found his Frost key item in the shop now, so he'll be buying that and use the camo snow gloves in place of the Frost tactical chest piece that he had been using. While we were all being useless and gawking at the vending machine, Pixel returned home, the only useful one out of the bunch from his foraging trip, and cooked up our meals. He also purchased his key items then, a helmet looking like a firefighter, and the Lone Wolf boots. We wanted to craft these purchase blueprints, but we needed more bearskin. So with warm food in our bellies, Alpha and I were off to skin some. It did get to a point that I noticed it was negative 30, so heading out is a risk in itself, so I'm gonna stay inside for now. To start the next day, I learned the ominous thermal tower mimetic. According to its info, it helps warm the area and should provide buffs as well, so we wanted one ASAP. Once we had gotten enough bearskins, Pixel made his helmet and his boots, Goat then made his 3 Shelterer pieces and fire boots, so his elemental damage is through the roof. I was next crafting my Bastille items, as well as remaking my key item at tier 5. All I'm missing now is my pair of gloves. Pixel also learned how to cook meat skewers, since it's a temperature resistant food. It combos really well with our all-weather stews, since that counts as a drink, so we can stay super warm with these 2 dishes. In the late afternoon, we began the purification of more Starcrum as we were in a new week, giving a tier 3 Cortex a go for the first time. The creatures are higher level, sure, but with how we upgraded our gear, we just absolutely shredded them. Even the big boss stood no chance, just melted in a flash. At the end of the day, we just did some upkeep while discussing how to get our hands on more Starcrum. You just can never have enough of this stuff. So we were fishing the next morning, doing every small task that we could to get Mitsuko marks, aka building up to more Starcrum. All this fishing had us catching all types of different species too. Probably gonna be some good eating. We continued this until we reached the total requirement for the season goal, and by the time I was done with all of my fish, it was about noon. I also noticed that our deviations had gathered a ton of items back at base, especially the bunnies. They had so many seeds and vegetables on them that we should have definitely placed them sooner. Later in the afternoon, Goat gave me the portable batteries that I needed in order to make the thermal tower, and after gathering all of the necessary resources, got to place this colossal structure in the evening by the river near our defense tower. We were a tad confused on what to do with it, but assumed that we need to gather hot and cold rocks to start this thing up. So we split up on day 54 to find some. I got the cold rocks pretty fast, and by throwing a Molotov at them was able to mine them without freezing to death, and Alpha progressed up to making ice grenades, as Goat needed those to mine hot rocks. While he was looking for those, Alpha got to make his key snow gloves and the Savior jacket, so he is now progressing as well, armor-wise. Once Goat returned with the rocks, we threw it all into the tower's depot, and voila! Progress. It's now usable, however, we have no upgrades on it, and they all require a completely different list of materials to make, so I posted a gathering request so the boys could bring supplies on over. We were excited to see how far we can push this thing. Slowly but surely, we were progressing with the technologies, but of course this takes time, as we need to go out and gather the necessary materials, and each upgrade takes a certain amount of time to upgrade, and you can only do one at a time, but these low-level ones are quite fast. By the end of the day, the tower was level 5, having unlocked 4 of the technologies from the bottom tab. These provide things like better bonuses applied to the area, like bonuses to crafted gear, more sulfur to gather, basically just everything that improves your living conditions. We continued grinding into day 55 to get more upgrades done, and while we're waiting for the upgrades to be done researching, we scouted for morphic crates, as there is a task to get these for Mitsuko marks. Also, Goat had managed to progress the thermal tower with the thermal cover, which visually altered it, and unlocked the next tier of technologies, which are even more difficult to complete, and will take half an hour per to unlock. This is going to take a while, so we just continued to do anything for bits of Starcrum while we wait between technologies to be researched. While looking for morphics, teleporter towers, and rift anchors, we stumbled upon the Mooseville Sweets factory that we totally forgot to clear early in the adventure, so we did this town completion super duper fast. And thus we returned home at the end of the day, and the tower is at level 10, looking quite beefed up too. We unlocked Heat Spread, the feature to produce acid, and a defense boost for it. Honestly, it's a really good thing we've been saving our Chaosium, because this thing uses a lot. Day 56 was kind of the same, mainly doing morphic crate hunting while we wait. It's a double positive though, as it's going to allow us to get the Mitsuko points that we want, but also Stellar Planula to purchase Starcrum crates. Alpha also managed to buy the next piece of his meta armor set, that being the helmet, and we were sure to harvest tons of tungsten as we were running low due to the thermal tower upgrades, and that's kind of all that happened. At dawn of day 57, we got another Morphic crate, the last one for Goat and myself, which completed our third phase of Mitsuko marks. I then returned home and purchased the last blueprint that I needed, being the black stone gloves, which can give me hot or cold resistance. This day became an upkeep day mostly, as Pixel still needed Morphic crates to complete his Mitsuko marks, so while we looked for those for him, we just grinded out some much needed resources. This includes special plastics from rated high level compounds, because all these new armor crafts at tier 5 need a ton of this stuff. And this grind was worth it, as I got to start off day 58 by making my final armor piece. So my final build is complete, and don't worry, once everyone's full build is complete, we are going to be doing a DPS test against one another to see how our builds fare. We then decided to slap a ton of tier 2 cortexes in the resonator to get it to hard mode, wanting to see how we'd fare against that. For this endeavor, Alpha, our main chemist, converted our tier 1 cortexes to tier 2, and while that's cooking, we went to the workshop to try and farm out a tier 3 cortex by using a high tier card. But even with these insane builds that we were working on, it was impossible to take down the monsters, and we failed in record time. It wasn't even a competition. But for some reason, some of us still got some rewards, and Alpha got a Shattered Maiden deviation, which does like a fear damage to enemies. But despite all odds, we just kept at it, for determination was our motivation. We were sweating in this attempt like our lives depended on it, and we actually managed to succeed somehow. And it granted us the tier 3 cortexes that we were after, so it was well worth the pain that we underwent. Thus, Goat had everything ready for us to face a hard mode purification. For this though, I made a lightning in a bottle to amplify our turrets, and Alpha made the shelter or helmet for his set to be ready. And with all that done, we did our first hard mode purification, but not even these beefed up baddies could stand up against us, allowing us to complete this in record time. That boosted our egos as well as our Starcrom amounts. This let Pixel buy the Lone Wolf mask, completing his build, and you know what? He's looking like a buffed up firefighter. 2 complete builds, 2 to go. Alpha got the mask made and only needed the legs and boots now. Then Goat went off to wrap up his Starcrom grind by fetching more Mitsuko marks. He returned early the next day to buy the black stone gloves and pants, so he has everything bought for his set, and Alpha still needs to buy the legs and boots recipes for his set though, so the goal is now to head out to the Ember Strand to grind for Goat's resources and Alpha to somehow get more Starcrom. We rode across the lands and used this trip to stock up on iron too, needing to rebuild our steel supply because of the tower and ammunition we've been using. While gathering, we followed the flow of lava and noticed an abandoned city in the distance, and as we approached it, we were notified of a volcanic storm in the area, which should be interesting. It's the opposite issue than we were having in the snow. This place was littered with deviants, like I'm not kidding, and they were quite chunky, but we proceeded to explore the area as there is town completion to do. New monsters were crawling out of the woodwork, so we had to stay on our toes while here. And you know, this place might be desolate, but it's the coolest place that we have found so far. It really sets the apocalyptic tone. Goat mentioned he was fighting what he called a Diablos at one point, and I, a lady hiding behind a mirror. Each their own struggles, I guess. Through the night, the creatures were getting weirder and weirder, but we wrapped up the town completion at about midnight. So we headed home at the start of day 60. And with everything disassembled, Goat was able to finish his build by crafting his last 2 armor pieces, so that leaves Alpha to wrap up getting more Starcrom through Mitsuko marks to have all of our sets done. So while we're waiting for him to complete that, Pixel figured out how to turn on the thermal tower, and we could see that it's providing heat to a small area, but we can improve its range later. And you know, we were unsure if it's just a coincidence or not, but it actually seemed to melt the snow in the area, which, if so, is a very nice detail. In the evening, Alpha finished another Mitsuko objective and was now 100 Mitsuko points short of his Starcrom goal. So while the boys were figuring out how to get him that last bit, I figured out how to play around with portals, ending the day with using one to get straight up to my bed for a quick nap. And you know, Alpha had just enough Starcrom at the start of 61 for his plans, so wanting to make his new armor pieces, he went out bear hunting. He's after the super rare dropped hide, so this is gonna take a while. During this, Goat set the radiator to be built for the thermal tower, meaning that we would have access to all unlockable technologies. And then him and I went to a tungsten expedition while Pixel was stocking on ingredients again because we are some hungry hippos. So, for his culinary progress, at about noon, Pixel placed an upgraded kitchen set, unlocking a whole new list of recipes. While still waiting on Alpha, I began to dump Starcrom into the Gamma machine, trying to get blueprint fragments to upgrade my weapons. I was able to get some for my key item though, and with them upgraded the stars of my leather boots, reaching 3 out of 5 stars, which means if I make it again, it'll just come out better. I decided to assist Alpha with his grind on day 62, and I guess teamwork makes the dream work, because I got 2 pieces of this rare hide on my second bear kill, so we met at base so he could make the last pieces of his build. So, the moment you have all been waiting for, here is a rundown of what the heck we all made. My build is based off of the Autumn Equinox AR, as it lets me pop Fortress Warfare frequently, which gives an AoE team boost to defense and damage. It also allows me to heal in said AoE, and also lets me deal more damage when my health is above 75%. My key item also assists with the healing while in Fortress Warfare, and my armor is the Bastille set, which allows for an additional 10% weapon damage when my health is above 70%. While crouched and immobile, I enter Bastille state, which grants an additional 40% weapon damage, and when I exit the state, I get armor points that stack so I'm even tankier the next time that I enter Bastille state. The last piece is Blackstone gloves for some temperature resistance. My secondary is the Bingo Sniper for bullseye, so we all deal more damage to marked targets, and my mods help me deal more damage in general because I'm just, well, focusing on flat damage. I want a healing deviation, but for now the snapshot adds a bit more of flat DPS, which seems to scale at around 11,000 without calibrations or perfected mods, but again, my focus is to stay alive and boost the team. Alpha's build is based off of the Silent Anabasis, which deals frost elemental damage. It has a 10% chance to trigger a frost vortex, and hitting an enemy with that generates an ice crystal, which explodes after 15 seconds or when shot, causing ice missiles to massively damage enemies, which plays well with the key item Snow Camo Gloves, allowing 4 additional missiles to launch out when shooting an ice crystal. The armor consists of 3 pieces of Shelterer, which increases frost damage by 8%, and each hit creates a stack of 1% more elemental damage to a maximum of 20. Plus, there are 2 Savior armor pieces in the mix, which provide more base and elemental damage. He also has the same secondary as me, but still needs a better deviation, which will add more ice crystals, but Polar Jelly is still OP. His mods focus on elemental damage improvements, and for now his DPS output is at about 16k. Not bad at all. Pixel's build is based around the LMG called Conflicting Memories, which deals shrapnel damage, which means an extra damage hit, and the build focuses on expanding magazine size as its effect is a chance per hit. The key item is the Gas-Tight Helmet, which increases max shrapnel by 1 and improves its damage by 120%. Up next, he has 3 pieces of Lone Wolf armor, which increases his magazine capacity by 10%, increases crit rate by 5%, and gives a stack of Lone Wolf Shadow every 2 weapon hits, increasing the crit damage by 5% for 30 seconds, stacking up to 8 times. The final parts are Stormweaver, which increase magazine capacity by an additional 15%. His secondary weapon is a Wildfire Pistol that also provides bullseye, and at the moment is undecided on a main deviation. At this point, his DPS is around 7,500, but when closer to the target, can go up to 11k. Goat's build revolves around the Pyroclasm starter shotgun. It has a 27% chance to trigger burn on a hit with a 20% chance to generate a deviant particle, which can be picked up to enter a charge state, which turns his ammo into Dragon's Breath ammo, which deals blaze elemental damage equal to 85% of attack. Additionally, upon reloading, you expend all charges to increase blaze damage by 10% until the next reload, and each stack expanded further increases it by an additional 10% up to 4 stacks total. His key item is the Fire Rune Boots, which when an enemy nearby is inflicted with burn, gives a 50% chance more to create the deviant points for the charge buildup, and increases burn damage by 30% for 15 seconds. He has 3 pieces of Shelterer, which increases the elemental damage, similar to Alpha's build, and then he has 2 pieces of Blackstone armor, which when dealing elemental damage, gains him a stack of Warm Sensation, which increases damage by an additional 2% for 2 seconds. It triggers once every half a second up to a maximum of 5 stacks. His secondary weapon is the same as Pixel's, and his deviation is the Invincible Sun for more burn, and yes, his mods also focus on boosting elemental damage. Together with his deviation, his DPS is at a staggering 24k, however, the shotgun is calibrated 6 times, which explains the damage, so we can all hold our horses. For Alpha's desired deviation, we spoke to Low, and took the quest which gives the Snow Spray deviation. We started the mission by speaking to someone named Ridley, and seems they've sent people to their food facility, but it was very cold out and the team lost contact, so we are to find out what happened over at the Mooseville Sweets factory where they went. Upon our arrival, V did say that it is colder here than usual, and indeed it was so inside as we noticed the missing team frozen in blocks of ice. We had to turn on generators, thaw some soldiers out till we got some keycards, and eventually reached the cellar further down where we found the Sprite. Mission success. So we wrapped up the quest up at Igloo to finish off the day. The next day, Alpha checked his DPS with the Sprite, and although there are more ice crystals, he isn't able to outperform his DPS with the jelly until he gets a proper mod for his missiles. So we decided to give the old fire silo a go on pro mode, just to see if we could handle it with these insane upgrades. And needless to say, we discovered this was a very painful endeavor, as this is a whole nother level of difficulty, taking us down one after another. These enemies were absolutely insane, a total nightmare. And having used many adrenalines in the first room, we had very low hopes, but it forced us to play more tactically by targeting the same enemies and keeping each other up. This allowed us to reach the boss arena surprisingly, but upon entry, we were deathly nervous. But there's no going back now, is there?
Is the final boss man.
Oh shit! Okay, I will use adrenaline.
Fuck.
God damn.
Oh, I'm down again.
Oh.
I somehow lift that. Oh, never mind. Oh, he's gonna do the shockwaves. I'm down.
Ah! Oh, I couldn't dodge that.
Oh, my DB is available again.
Oh, I'm down. I don't have adrenalines anymore.
That Alpha, you're the last one. You're the last one standing.
No, please. That's what I meant.
Yeah, I'm
All right.
under his ass.
Boom.
There.
Done.
Oh, nice.
Woo! That was
Belly.
tough.
For real, I did not think we would make it, but we got 3 legendary mods, which is insane. What a way to end the day. Day 64 started off with Alpha making an advanced synthesis bench during upkeep, and you know, having done the level 10 silo on all difficulties, we wanted to do the same for the level 21. During this, I managed to level up to level 50, which is nuts because that's max level, so this has to be good XP, and the side chests give really good mods. Alpha, our demo master, found an interesting hole in the wall, and going through it, we discovered that it's a shortcut to the prison cells. We were just blasting through this without issue, and we found a busy bee deviation down here, which provides a higher chance of crop mutation, so Pixel's gonna love that. Although the final fight was difficult, sure, we managed to take it out no problem, and I was thrilled because I got multiple Fortress Warfare mods, so I'm stocking up quick. We then did some more upkeep, which did last well into the evening, as we were just making sure that everything was set for our pro mode attempt, which we went to do the next morning. And although we were blasting our way through the entire thing, we had no choice but to give up at the final room, as the boss just kept healing and kept downing us instantly. It just decimated us, but we'll be back. So we tucked tail and got home for some upkeep, during which Goat made a truck that we can build a base on top of so we can do upkeep on the go. And we also upgraded some of our mods during this time. We then decided it was time to take on the third monolith, the Fire Dust one, but just getting to this monolith was an expedition in its own right, being atop a mountain, but we managed to scale it in time and began our infiltration, and were greeted right off the rip by a mythical crate, meaning that there's town completion to be done. So we wrapped this up in a jiffy, as it's a very small section, and then made our way into the monolith to face the great one within.
Okay, boys. This is a familiar face to me, so I hope the mechanics are the same. Basically, what this boss fight is, if it is the same way, is it's on a stage, and you can only move around the stage. And it has a few weak spots that you can hit it with when they glow red. You have to watch out. It is a colossal beast, and when it hits certain parts of the stage multiple times, they can break and make you fall off and just full die in one go. Where it glows red is where you want to hit, and you want to avoid the shockwaves. All right? Oh, in one of the hands, it's going to do a swooping motion, guys, so watch out. The hand's going to come from the right. You got to run all the way to the other end.
No.
I'm not gonna make it.
No.
I'm not gonna make it.
I'm going to open him up. Shoot the chest. Go, 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 go. No, Pixel, you're going the wrong way.
Wrong way. Yeah.
Oh, fuck that. It'd be...
Uh-oh. I fell off the stage.
You're gone forever?
I'm just falling through the void.
Pixel's been sent to the Shadow Realm. Watch out. He's going to hit in a second on my red thing.
You're low.
See that? He hits that platform, that's going to make that platform weaker. If he hits it one more time, it's going to break. Okay, I'm gonna break this one all the way at the end. Oh no, wait, actually I'm just gonna do this middle one. Hold on.
Oh!
Yes, here.
I'm sorry. Oh, he's doing a big hit in the middle, watch out. He's doing homing missiles. And a big one's coming there in the mid. Okay, we have him under half health. Not bad. Oh, fuck. Okay, no, he can still kill me. He definitely still can kill me.
Oh, that place is broken now.
Hi, Muma. What you looking for?
Oh, he's
Oh.
gonna eat me?
Oh, you lived. Oh, not bad. Oh, head. Oh, he's hitting himself. He's not happy. Whoa, big ones. Watch out for these AoEs. Oof, that killed me. I'll adrenaline up. And boom. Done.
Nice.
Whoa, he's still trying to kill me from the grave. Still is. Oh, what? Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, we got some deviations. From
Yay, a nutcracker.
fucking nutcrackers, dude.
I have like 18 of these.
By the way, welcome back, Pixel. How was your vacation
Yeah.
in the Nether?
Having assured our victory just before midnight, we decided to head back home, and for day 66, we were focused on getting tungsten smelted, wanting to get another upgrade done to the thermal tower. This paid off as in the afternoon, the technology reinforcement was set to research, which will take a whopping 12 hours to complete, which is crazy. Goat had also been putting in the work to make that mobile base, so we'll see how it goes once it's time to use it. For the rest of the day though, we were just looking through the reward menus where I unlocked a whole lot of nutcracker deviations. 67 started by giving the Sacred Servitor on hard mode a go, since it has a chance to drop the legendary mod that Alpha needs, and better snapshots for me.
Don't stand in the rain, and watch out for the red AoEs if she uses them, because that is one-shots, basically.
There.
Hitting
What the?
me.
I don't know either.
No, something fucking invisible is hitting me all the fucking
It's
time.
the rain. There's a rain cloud over you.
What we didn't expect was to be warped straight to heaven, aka new phase on this difficulty.
Why? Why?
You have to shoot the red spot, right? Oh, yeah. I didn't see that.
Well,
Nah,
See, I'm not that stupid. You can't just.
I just walked back a little bit, looking towards her.
Oh, I'm down. Oh, shit.
Aquí tornado. Okay.
Oh, boom, I'm down. I'm using adrenaline.
Ah,
Okay.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
holy homing. Okay.
Ah,
Oh, I'm down.
I'm down. I've nothing
coming.
to heal myself. Oh, another hit. Then,
Got you.
oh, for fuck's sake, I'm
He's down
down.
again.
Yeah, I didn't even stand up. I'm down.
God damn
What
it.
the
Oh, just help me out, please.
Magic. What the fuck? Why are you not? Let's stay up, you.
Uh-oh. Weird stuff. Weird stuff.
Yeah, really had to die before this turned into tentacle bullshit. Can't damn.
Oh, I'm tanking so much. Go, Goaty Goat! Go get him! Oh,
I'm dead, but we did it.
we did it! Woo! Oh.
What? Thanks for the heal.
That was tough.
That right there was a very intense yet satisfying battle, that is for sure. At least for Goat and myself. I also did get a slightly better snapshot, but more importantly, Alpha got the mod that he needed for his build on this first try, so I guess we're done here.
Wait, Crow, you used 0 items?
Yeah. What items would I use?
Healing.
No, dude, I am the heals, baby.
Goat's build struggled when it came to long-range fights, so he crafted a scorched AR to remedy this at times. With that, we moved off and entered the hard mode of the treant fight. Although we entered confident, there's not much you can do about avalanches from the sky, so this was taking a toll on us physically and mentally. We failed the first attempt, but gave it a second try. This time, Goat using his shotgun, and we did get much further because of this, because he was laying on the hurt, but we just couldn't make the cut. So upkeep and upgrades are in order. For example, I made my better key item, and the stats are night and day difference. However, myself and others didn't have enough energy link to craft more items, so Alpha, the godsend that he is, had a spec to make crystal sets which sell for 12k energy link, so that is our easy fix for this problem. So, Alpha was just cranking out as many of these crystal sets as he could on day 68, and the Fire Frog was doing his best to help him out. Just look at him go! So we kept selling these for energy links for major upgrades. However, all of this calibration resulted in needing more resources, so we were off to grind for some tungsten and plastics. It was at about midday when we had all calibrated our armor at least twice, and our weapons a minimum of 4 times. So with all these upgrades done, we headed back to attempt that hard mode treant. As they say, 3rd time's the charm. This time, we did manage to slay him without even getting his second round of tentacles, and no one even went down. Needless to say, these upgrades were key.
Listen to how long I can shoot.
This is the nag that never ends.
That was half the mag.
So of course, we just had to try the Forsaken Giant on hard mode, even though it's the one that Goat struggles with the most.
Oh no. Let me change guns.
We were close, but we just couldn't finish it off, so we returned home to repair our very damaged gear. On day 69, we decided to give that level 20 silo a run through again on pro mode, since now our gear is far better. Needless to say, we were dealing a ton of damage to the grunts on our way through, just cutting through it like butter. But again, we had to exit the dungeon because this boss still obliterates our health and he just constantly keeps healing. We could have stayed, but we would have just wasted all our ammo. We then figured out in the silo screen that apparently the boss on this difficulty has super regen. We figured out that Burn, Frost, and the Cradle mod anti-regen are the best way to deal with that, so to counter it, I had to work on a Frost build real fast. A bit of a grind would be needed for this build, which took its sweet time, sure, but somehow, in the late evening, I managed to whip up a very rudimentary Frost LMG build. So on day 70, we gave the silo one final attempt, hoping we'd succeed. We rushed to the final boss, and even though all our builds should be working, and we have the countermeasures needed, it didn't go down, so we are going to put this fight on the back burner for the time being. If you know how to slay this claw machine on pro mode, please let us know in the comments, we really would appreciate it. So to truly put our builds to the test, we decided to give the Zone of Haze a go. Likely the hardest content we will ever attempt. Immediately, we can tell that this place is ominous and mysterious, and Veronica speaks to us via comms, telling us to proceed with caution, and we're going to have to solve puzzles with symbols. Seems like this place is also loaded with high-level deviants, and in the shadows, we were fainting over and over due to health loss over time, but at certain pillars, we were able to heal up similar to the Secret Servitor boss. We continued to push our way through this haze, zooming past shadow sections, solving puzzles to get some extra loot, and all of this was a constant doozy. This was quite difficult. The deeper and deeper we went, the spookier it had become, but we loved the theme of this place. It's one of our favorites. Eventually, we did stumble upon a boss called the Scorcher, and this big boy hits like a truck, freight train, and various other heavy vehicles combined. We had to kill the fire hands that kept spawning to get light orbs, to light up pillars, to figure out the password for the ceiling circle. After turning it and solving this puzzle, the boss became vulnerable, and so we began to melt him away. But this fight was absolute chaos. It was one hell of a fight, but I am glad that I'm doing this with Team Caps, as the boys were pushing hard while I was down for the count early on.
He's almost there. Oh. Holy shit, we're cheesing our way through so bad.
Let's go, Alpha!
I called it sweat and tears. There's no cheese in this, man.
Ah, almost! One more mag. Please, one more mag. Please, one more mag. No!
What?
Ah, God. Yes!
You did it.
Yes!
You did it.
With that abomination defeated, we were surprised that that wasn't even the final boss, but well worth it as Goat finally got the katana that he had been wanting. He was so happy about that. We then ascended up an elevator, preparing to continue forward. And you know, this place has a lot of lore to it, we're told by Veronica. Something about this being a past civilization and that great ones used to live here. Logically, Rosetta had been trying to gain control of this space, but to no avail, luckily. As we tried to push forward, we all blacked out in the shadow sections as we were out of adrenaline and couldn't get back up, so this ended our run as we also reached the end of the day. We might have failed, but we were excited to complete this down the line as we now had a solid goal to complete. The next day started a little differently though, as Goat was progressing to make the best manned turret possible, and for a large portion of the morning, we were gathering ore once more. However, we needed to pick up the pace on mining, so I made an advanced mining drill to get to grinding that ore, and this piece of technology is magnificent. Meanwhile, Alpha was grinding out some more special plastics, and Goat the Madman eventually got the maxed out turret placed on the now Death Truck. Screw using it for upkeep, Death Truck! And with Pixel manning it, they went to test it out on some not so willing guinea pigs.
Oh, Bison. Hello.
Did it work?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
6,000 damage.
The next morning, Goat declared that the Death Truck is ready for action. We plan to use it for a very specific purpose, but for now, we were preparing for a large expedition into the Strand. This meant foraging for ingredients for Pixel for heat-resistant food. While doing so, Goat opened one of the mod boxes and actually managed to get one of the final mods he needs to complete his build. Alpha and I were also getting ingredients for Pixel, but tried to poke a Chaos Weaver by shooting nearly 2,000 bullets each into its weak spot, but barely did 1% damage. So we still need to improve some more. Once everything was set, we were off to find Roland in the town of Oblivion. And arriving there, it seems like this town has gone through a landslide long ago, burying parts of it, but it's a friendly town with a camera and everything, and we feel right at home. Heading up the main building, we did in fact find Roland, whose arm looks like beef jerky. He was surprised to see a mayfly here, and showed his concern for his people, but was relieved with the information that we gave him. He wants to focus on dealing with the vultures and Rosetta, but his health is clearly in danger due to the chaosium that was injected into his arm. He actually planned to get captured, but not so much the chaosium experimenting part. He needs our help and asks us to find out as much as we can about Igna. With that, we head straight to Ashington to see what we can find. Infiltrating the town, V says that the damage here looks fresh and we are to look for survivors. Finding one of the spatial theaters later on, we listen to it and see that Igna had been trying to convince the town's leader, Dawn, that they needed to start using Stardust rather than hiding from it. Dawn was opposed to this and said while he's in charge, there would be no deviations or metahumans in Ashington. Seems like there were many who were supporting Igna's idea though, and it ends with a rather loose threat from Igna of them all leaving or staying to make him listen to him. Further up in a garden, we find another spatial theater, and apparently Igna had been changed by Stardust, and it's believed that this is why he had been plotting against the leadership. They attempted to banish him from the town, though Igna said if he leaves, he knows his followers would follow. The leader didn't seem to care, saying they didn't belong there anyways, and that they had enough of Stardust and the freaks that it creates. To this, Igna states that Dawn reminds him of the man who raised him, that he was inferior and also refused to heed his words and paid the price for it. Things are getting juicy, we're getting into some family drama. He continues to say that he will go, but that he will return one day to show his superiority. Further up, we came across a third spatial theater, and this time it's from when Igna was a child. Turns out he was an orphan, and was asking to not go back to a place because it was hot, scary, and he gets hungry there. Mr. Ortiz would decline this, saying that he may have fooled others, but he knew that he convinced the other boys to sneak out and vandalize the front gate. He continues to say that there is hope for the other boys, but not for Igna, naughty naughty, calling him a snake and that he would break him before he would corrupt other orphans under his care. Well dang, that got really dark really fast. Igna then said that he would pay for this, not today, but someday, and Ortiz sends him to the shed for 2 days with no food. Reaching the final point of the quest line, we find that Roland is speaking to Dawn, the only survivor of Ashington. He says that the Firethroat Mountain erupted, spewing smoke and ash. Rivers of lava then rushed down the mountain, destroying everything in its path. He does say that before the lava came rushing down that they could see something else. It seems like a creature was rising out of the mountain itself. We ask him if he thinks that Igna was behind all that, and he says that the man is a monster and came here to show him what he could do, that he would do anything to get his way, even if it meant destroying the entire world. He proceeds to say that Igna and his followers found the survivors and did terrible things to them. Igna was laughing the entire time. Igna also said to him that he only kept on alive to bear witness and some story about his childhood, and that all of this was only the start. We ask him why he was the one chosen to bear a witness, and Don says that he was hated the most and wanted him to suffer, but also says that if the man was still alive that raised Igna, he would have hated to see what he would have done to him. The story he told Don was that he grew up in an orphanage, and whenever he misbehaved, he was locked in a shed. One day, he convinced the boys to lure the man to the shed and locked him in. He burned the shed to the ground, and since then, nobody locked him in a shed ever again. Concerning. If he could do that with a few boys, imagine what he could do with an entire army. With that conversation over, it's time to split up. Roland will be taking Dawn back to Oblivion for safety, while we are to head out to a hidden vulture research center called Sunshroud Cave. He says that once we're done there, we should meet up at the Firethroat Fortress, the vulture headquarters, and try to put a stop to all of this once and for all. This quest line leads us further north to an undiscovered region, but closer to us, there is another town with a really high level silo there. This one is recommended level 40. Considering we did 10, 20, and 30, we have to give this one a shot. So we made our way on over, eager to see if we could handle this one. We approached the silo at about midnight. It's in a polluted area guarded by vultures, so this ought to be fun. Upon reaching the summit, the silo entrance seems to be in a fancy manor or castle of sorts. Once we were all gathered, we entered the Taurus silo on normal difficulty, not knowing what to expect within. As soon as we entered, we noticed that this place looks quite fancy, almost like an art museum of sorts, and there's so many paintings on display, and vultures to kill. So after slaughtering our way through some rooms, Alpha discovered that we need to continue forward through a painting, and so away we went through a mystical portal.
If you look to your left, this is where they took the Microsoft XP screen background.
What the fuck?
What happened here?
Here, let me show you. If you take one of these paintballs and you throw it at a teammate.
God damn. I don't know what I expected.
Up next, this is a mechanic that I really like. We have to use paintballs in a sense to fill in gaps in the stairways as we continue. I just think that's really cool. Some of the vulture enemies here were immune as well unless painted, which is just a very interesting mechanic. Popping through some more portals, we found a loadout station for the vultures, wishing I could take one of these masks for myself. Either way, eventually we reached a swirling painting and a hand reaches out and just sucks us straight in, bringing us to the final boss called the Messenger.
Alright, I'm assuming Messenger is that person in the middle. Yeah, that's the one. Oh, it's immune. It's immune. I think we need to paint her in. Alright, she's painted. Oh. Teleports too. Oh yeah, we absolutely melt this boss, no issue, due to the fact that this is on normal difficulty. Yeah, boom, done. Easy squeezy. Oh, we got snow sprites. Maybe Alpha gets a better tier 1 here.
We absolutely melted that boss. It was nice to not struggle for once, but of course this was on normal difficulty, so we're going to have to try this again on hard and pro. First though, Alpha made a quick pit stop at base to drop off a load of loot and to make some more ammo for all of us. We also noted there is a super anomaly phase on this one in hard mode, so Pixel's build and my own will come in handy for this one. Heading on in, we begin to make our way through once more. We decided to just rush through to the final boss. This one we melted within seconds thanks to my Fortress Warfare buff. At least that's what I like to believe. Gotta say though, this feels like the most creative dungeon and we really enjoy it. Once more, upkeep was completed, and we entered pro mode right after and rushed on through. Alpha actually managed to get one of the final mods that he needed right before reaching the boss room. We were still hoping for the final magazine mod for Pixel needed for his build, which was why we intended to grind this until we get it.
Alright, let's do this.
It's shooting something.
Try and stay in the Fortress Warfare.
No.
Oh, painting time. Painter man, painter man. Oh, how to be a painter man. And even on pro mode, this boss stood absolutely no chance whatsoever. Shredded in no time flat.
Even in pro mode, this boss stood no chance, and Pixel managed to get the mod that it needed from the final chest, making this a very successful day for us. All this mod collecting just pushed us in the direction of getting all the mods needed to complete our builds, so we began to head to another silo. This meant that on day 74, we hopped into the PSI silo on hard difficulty, as many of us still need to get chest or leg mods, which this place provides. We were just rushing through this one, just zipping through lasers, special agent style, and began to fight the Frigg once more. The boss fight was more difficult than expected, as all of us went down, except our Iceman, who was doing his best. We came out victorious as he soloed the rest of the enemies. From the mod chest, I got the bullet siphon mod that I needed for my build, but we weren't done yet as others still need their mods from here, so after some upkeep, we went to try this on pro mode. We did everything we could to rush as fast as possible to the final boss, and once we reached it, we managed to defeat the boss somewhat easier. It just took a little bit longer this time. Needless to say, we were going to be grinding this one for a while as we still need more mods, so after some much needed upkeep, we were back on that grind. So more loot was coming in on day 75 as the grind continued. Pixel got a Deadshot mod out of this one, which is a viable one for his build, and Goat got the mod that he needed, so we were closer and closer to having all that we need to complete our builds. Alpha and Goat, as they're focusing on elemental damage, still need Blue Flame Resonance mods for their chests, so we decided to grind a bit on normal difficulty, and needless to say, we were just going to melt through these rounds. The boys didn't get what they needed here though, and we figured since they want a blue mod, we might be able to get it for them just from chests or random enemies in lower level dungeons, so we headed on over to the level 10 silo next. The boss was killed before he even knew what happened, not even getting to attack it, but the boys still didn't get what they needed, so we just did this again on hard. Needless to say, easy peasy, we melted his booty, and with a quick bit of upkeep done for the boys, we did this one again on pro, as Goat and I still need legendary mods for our gloves, so we're trying to knock out two birds with one stone. We cleaned this dungeon out in no time flat as before, but sadly Goat and I did not get what we needed. However, we had to hit the brakes. At dusk, we all gathered back at Camp Caps, and we're just chit-chatting and agreed that our builds are roughly 90% made. Just mods, calibrations, and improvements of rating to go, and we should be ready to face anything that faces us. We're also proud of the progress that we had made, especially with the thermal tower, but with how cold it is now, we are terrified to see what's going to happen the next morning of Phase 4. So, we relaxed, had a few drinks in the man cave, and hit the hay for a long night's cozy rest to be ready for what's about to come. Awakening on day 76, with us now being in Phase 4, we find out that Ice and Fire Chaos Weavers will spawn more frequently, and there are new items in the Wish Machine, plus a new phase for Mitsuko marks. There was also a ton of mail, with more stuff inside that I can even list. While we were updating ourselves on the new phase, I spent all of my star crom on the Wish Machine and managed to upgrade my AR blueprint by 1 star, and my key item, the boots, to maximum stars. Goat bought himself the Bullseye Sniper to handle his long-range issues, and the boys followed suit with the Wish Machine use, trying to get blueprint fragments. Pixel was able to upgrade his jacket and pants now by 1 star, and around noon he was heading out to get food, so he'll be able to restock our consumables. I noticed that our thermal tower was no longer here though, so while progressing to rebuild it, I maxed out the calibration of my key item, giving me over 2k HP with this one item, which is nuts. Goat then handed over some batteries he had made, and with that I headed out to rebuild the tower, and it's all good to rebuild it since it keeps all the technologies that we already had unlocked on it. Goat also pointed out that we all got a deviation crate at some point. I picked out the Shattered Maiden, and Pixel got the Grosh Room, which will be an amazing assistant to his farming. To end off the day, we all just headed out to help Pixel to gather all the needed ingredients. With that done, Pixel ensured on day 77 that there was enough all-weather stew to go around. Then seeing that we had over 40 level 3 Cortexes, we decided to do them all in one fell swoop, a full 40 launch of the defense tower. It posed not even the slightest bit of a threat to us, so 4,000 Starcrom was achieved in a matter of minutes, which was spent even faster to get blueprint fragments to do upgrades, like Goat for his Pyroclasm and Alpha his gloves. Goat also claimed a 6 sniper skin, looking all cybernetic. Now that we're back in the swing of things, we went back to grind that level 10 silo, as some of us still need the perfect glove mods for our builds. After the first round, I got the one that I was eyeing, but Goat didn't get that lucky, so we'd spam this silo as many times as needed in between upkeep rounds. And man, upgrading mods really ups your potential by a lot, so we wanted to max out all of them down the line. Once day 78 came around, we were slamming this dungeon multiple times in a row, and after 3 attempts, Goat got his desired glove mod at last. So this one was done, but we kept it going by grinding the chest and leg mods at the PSI silo, hoping to get something very specific for myself and a very special deviation. So yeah, this whole day was comprised of silo runs, and we ain't complaining because this is some of our favorite activities in the game. The PSI grind continued into day 79. We were determined and relentless. This grind lasted for a long time due to multiple attempts and multiple upkeep rounds, but after sinking the entire day into this, we were empty-handed on mods and the deviation that I was after, but trouble was brewing. We were notified on the server that a fire chaos weaver had been spotted in the Ember Strand, so we went to gear up with more ammo in the hopes to join the fray of battle. Joining others in the server seemed to be the only way we would be able to take one down, so we wasted no time at all while prepping. On day 80, Alpha teleported to World 3 so he could see if he could find the area where the Chaos Weaver in question was being fought, and he did find people having a crack at it, so we put ammo production into overdrive since it was recommended at a minimum to bring 20k ammo each. Alpha noted it was also 80 Celsius out here, so Pixel got to crank it out cooling foods. We also needed to prepare a lot of heat resistance, so we all were preparing to make heat resistant armor if needed. A combination of minty beef, all-weather stew, and coldium should be enough to handle the heat put out by the Chaos Weaver, but the remaining ammo took the rest of the day to prepare. So first in the evening, we got to set out and regrouped in World 3, and by the time that we got to the location, only about 10% of its health was gone, and so were the players fighting it. It was an apocalypse scenario with fire raining down from the heavens and hordes of fire minions overrunning us left and right. We could barely even focus on the actual Chaos Weaver, so we had to make the call. We had to fall back. Mission failed. We'll get him next time, as we have all supplies at the ready now at least. But at least day 81 started off great as Pixel opened some mod chests from silos and got the final 2 mods that he needed to complete his build, and Alpha also got the last legendary mod that he needed. So aside from the oh so rare blue mod Flame Resonance that the boys were after that we didn't know how to get, I still needed a legendary mod for my helmet, so it's back to the Taro silo to grind for it. On the first try, I did get the mod that I wanted, but because of the talents suffix, it's for elemental damage. So we were going to have to push through this silo multiple times while I was pushing through the flu IRL.
Where did my snow sprite go?
Girl, you sound bad.
Dude, I feel like a deflated tire.
During this grind, we were notified of another Chaos Weaver being fought though, so not wanting to miss our chance, we put this grind on hold for now and instantly headed out to join the battle, but only Alpha made it there just in time to witness it being killed. So sadly, we can't count that as us participating, but we did manage to get some of the loot from it though, which is great, and thankfully some of the online players were down to help us take another one down, so we moved to World 1 where a fresh level 50 Fire Chaos Weaver was at and began to lay the hurt on it, hoping more players would join in.
I got the vehicle.
Oh boy, is it time?
It's time.
Alpha, back him up.
Nice, you look like extracted from Vigilant 8.
Go Alpha!
Nice!
Needless to say, with that amount of health, this day was utter chaos filled with flame throwing and lead slinging until midnight hit. The chaos continued into the next day, and Goat was moving the truck to safety for the moment as reinforcements began to pour in, emphasizing that these battles are no joke. We definitely needed more than just the 4 of us to take this thing down, as we were barely 1 bar into its health and have spent a lot of ammunition on it already. I started to feel like he was specifically angry at me at one point as he faced me while launching several meteor-sized attacks all around, then hit me with almost every single blade that he launched, but I face-tanked it thanks to my build. And thankfully, slowly but surely, more and more people were rallying in to aid the fight.
You know what? I'm gonna stand in Crow's circle. Crow, give me that buff. Give me that healing juice.
Come here, Pookie. I made this for you guys this whole time.
Oh, I'm dealing more damage.
Yeah, that's the point of the circle.
Why didn't you tell us before?
I told you 50,000 times. It's literally in the voiceover you just edited yesterday.
It might not seem like it, but slowly we were eating into its HP bar. We knew that we had a chance and continued the onslaught, having invested far too much time and resources to head back now.
Crow, where are you?
I'm dead. I'm full dead.
I thought you were protecting me with your green circle.
He was.
From the grave. I'm doing my part.
During the fight, we did notice that there was a destroyer debuff that seemed to be increasing the heat beyond what we could handle, which affected our sanity and caused us to die often, so several of us went back to base to make some armor pieces that could handle the heat more in hopes of surviving this encounter, while not letting up the pressure for a second.
Whoa,
the arm's off.
The arm's off.
His arm. Yeah.
arm off.
Let's go.
That's amazing.
Oh, we got armor off of that arm, I think, now. It looks different now, at least.
After spending almost an entire day blasting this thing, we got 2 freaking bars down. We knew what we were in for, and we were not stopping until this behemoth turned into a heaping mountain of scrap. We did notice that by staying on our campsites, though, we were not succumbing to the debuffs as much, which was making this much easier. He also got stuck at one point on some person's house, which we obviously took advantage of.
I'm dealing over 10k damage per shot right now.
Holy moly.
We greeted the morning of day 83, and we were still in the heat of battle, no pun intended, and we gathered together at the same spot within the house that was holding this beast in place to lay on the hurt with my Fortress Warfare buff.
Here, Goat. Have my boost.
Yeah!
Oh, there's so much more damage in here. There we go. Everybody in the Fortress Warfare. Pile him! Pile him! Lay on the hurt, boys!
We managed to get it down to the final phase after so much grinding and continued to pour more and more lead into this beast. It was shooting massive rays of lightning at one point and had a shield which we wanted to remove with the Death Truck's biomissiles, but sadly, in the panic of it all, it was proving to be a bit difficult to operate.
Yeah, you're way too close. I can't go up that high.
How about there?
No, you need to put the butt to it.
There you can't shoot it?
No, you have to show the butt to it. I'm shooting our own turrets if I shoot like this.
Well, I'm showing the butt to it.
No, yeah, the turrets are in the way is the problem.
So many deaths came from this long and drawn-out battle, but in the end, we reigned victorious.
All right, slay 'em, boys! There it is! Finally!
Nice.
Bada bing, bada boom. It is done. And this is the loot chest in this dude's house.
Damn.
We did it.
Yes.
Done and dusted.
The deed was done. We managed to defeat it after what felt like an eternity and a half. So of course we celebrated with the group that came to fight alongside us, even adding Luffy as a friend as he was the MVP of this fight. He was the one that found it and got all of the reinforcements over here. So after saying our goodbyes, we headed home for some very much needed upkeep to begin. From the Chaos Weaver mod chest, I did get the mod that I needed for my bingo sniper, and then I entered the PSI silo solo this time though, as I used transformation cookies to try and run the silo without any aggro to see if I could find that deviation that I wanted. I learned this trick from a guide from Mr. Kraken. Eventually, I managed to finally get the one I had my eyes on, Dr. Teddy, a healing deviation that will be perfect for my build and position in our team. I grew attached to the snapshot, sure, because of how he worked and gave us good weak spots. However, Pixel still needed a main deviation, and the snapshot should fit him perfectly. As for Goat though, he played the Gamba machine at night and got enough fragments to finally up his shotgun BP to 3 stars, which he crafted and max calibrated going into day 84. And so with that new firepower, we waltzed on over to the secret servitor to fight it on pro mode to get a better snapshot for Pixel. On our first run though, we got clapped right off the rip just by the minions, which after intense analysis we concluded that we need to kill them. So on our second attempt, we got clapped just as hard, but noticed glowing balls on the ground now. Seems like the zone of haze mechanic, and that was proven to be a correct assessment. We had to use these to light up pillars to have some healing light, but it was sheer chaos. When entering the heaven phase, there was so much to pay attention to that we were getting obliterated, decimated, and humiliated, but with sheer tenacity, we somehow managed to finish it off. So that's the first pro Great One done. The snapshot that Pixel got was going to have to do for now, as none of us wanted to do that again. And it was time to go back to the Taurus solo grind anyways for my helmet mod, which we forgot to wrap up, and we just rushed on through, not killing a single enemy along the way except for the final boss. Over and over and over, we tore through this enemy's skull more times than I can count in hopes to get my mod. Day 85, still on that same grind, running this silo multiple times. I completely lost count of how long we've been here just to appease the RNG gods, but at least we're having some fun.
Let me heal you, Goat Son. Damn it, I missed Goat Son.
Dr. Sun. I need you, Dr. Sun.
Hold still, Goat Son, hold still. There you go.
Arigato.
I later finally managed to get a better mod for my helmet. It's momentum up, like the one that I didn't want, but this one boosts crit damage instead of elemental damage, so it's better for me. With that finally done, we began to do upkeep as it was very needed, and at the end of the day, we set the thermal tower to research Colossal Hunt, so should a Chaos Weaver spawn near us, we will be dealing more damage to it. The next day was chill and straightforward, everyone just doing minor tasks here and there, like I was going out to activate teleportation towers and such. We did fiddle around with blueprint conversions later though, which is a way to transfer stars from one blueprint to another, as we wanted to find ways to get our gear as strong as possible, so it took some time to wrap our heads around this new mechanic. But yeah, the day was one to relax and decompress, but day 87, however, we decided to progress the story, and so off to the Ember Strand we go, heading north to the Sunshroud Cave. The journey there brought us to the northern end of the region, seeing sights before unseen. Arriving at the waypoint, we saw some really strange rock formations covered in vulture buildings and paint, and upon entering this cave entrance, a seer spoke to us from a distance, asking us if we wanted to join their cause. These dudes are very persistent. Anyway, we started blasting our way on through and plundered all of their loot, as this place is littered in gear and weapon crates. Also looks like they make a lot of chaosium here. Deeper inside, we could hear Igna himself just shouting at his people in a motivational way, rallying his people to believe in the power of the Great Ones and to eliminate us, but it's just a transmission in the cave, so we refocus on our checklists to complete the town completion here, which was far easier than you would think. Of course, at one point though, I was having a shockingly hard time.
Hold Titans, so viele traps. Everywhere I walk.
Okay.
Puta vida, fucking trap. Almost.
I got that so good. You just ran in front of me. Click into one.
Proceeding even deeper into the cave, we eventually came across a researcher who, as a researcher, isn't a fighter and would give us any information that we wanted as long as we let him live. He explained everything about where Igna is located, that being the Firethroat Fortress, but didn't know how to get in. He also explained all he knew about chaosium, and when we told him to leave, he said that he would, thanked us for our mercy, and said that he will leave the vultures and change his way. A happy ending. Once done here, we began to roam the map, trying to complete anything that we may have missed, such as town completions and teleportation towers. Day 88 started off with focusing on the 4th phase of Mitsuko marks, trying to complete as many of them possible for Starcrum. One of them was to fish 22 different types of fish, and I do love the fishing minigame, so needless to say, I was going to be doing a whole lot of this during the day, but I didn't even get close to get that many species, but I used these fish to cook 20 legendary quality dishes, which in turn completed one of the tasks, plus this dish is good for HP recovery for my build. More and more of these tasks were completed while the boys were doing similar things. One of these tasks required me to drive 30,000 meters in a 4-wheeled vehicle, so I made the coupe, and after slapping a maxed out engine on it, was off on a road trip of a lifetime.
This thing is fast. Holy shit, Goat. Holy shit, it's fast.
Of course!
Damn.
We're still on the first motorbike engine, like what the fuck is wrong with you guys?
I was just racking up them miles while taking in the view. My cruising continued into day 89 while the boys were off doing their own little adventures. I did rack up the 30k, but I am 10 points off from reaching the Starcrum goal. 10 measly points! So the grind continued. The last bit of Starcrum shall not evade our hands for spending. During this, Goat decided to make his defense tower all nice and fancy all the way out in the Ember Strand for the heck of it. Day 90 was more of the same Mitsuko Mark grind as well as commissions, doing anything that we could to get them all done. We were also sure that while doing all of this to stock up on ore as we need more ammunition to complete the zone of haze down the line. And it goes without saying that these past few days were relaxing and just what the soul needed after that intense 2-day battle with the Chaos Weaver, but this was just the calm before the storm that is to come. 91 started with me collecting mutated crops, which had me finish this phase's Mitsuko marks, gaining more star crumb that I instantly slapped into the wish machine for fragments, while Pixel got his pistol up to 3 stars on the blueprint. We were then preparing to use Goat's new and improved battle station for another Stardust purification, as we were in a new IRL week, so Alpha took our Tier 1 and Tier 2 Cortexes to turn them into Tier 3s. Once ready, we threw them on in, and I gotta say I love how pretty the new battleground is. Goat really put in the work, but it does make it a little bit hard to shoot the enemies from these walls. We easily maxed out our star crom through this and instantly spent it all. With these fragments, I was able to upgrade this unnecessary shotgun to 4 stars and then swap them over to my Autumn Equinox, but sadly was still short on maxing it out, but it's as far as I could get. So I crafted it at Tier 5, gave it a Vanguard calibration, which yes, reduces damage by a bit but allows Fortress Warfare to trigger every time I reload from an empty mag. From there, I also got its calibration maxed out, and needless to say, I am incredibly proud of this fine piece of weaponry. A lot of time was then spent by all of us to see if there was any improvements that we could make to our gear at this point, as we are likely not going to get any more star crumb down the line. But hey, at least Alpha got his key item blueprint upgraded by a bit. I then max calibrated all of my armor, knowing that I wouldn't be able to advance their blueprints, even maxed out my mods, so I am a super tank now. My set is advanced as I could make it. Goat was doing a DPS check at this point, and going all out, he could get up to 60k at a peak, while I was hovering at around 20k. Yeah, I'm more so hovering close to 20k.
What? Oh, but you don't die.
Yeah. It's the trade-off.
20k helps a lot more if you're not dead.
But see, on day 92, we didn't have enough Stardust for everyone to max calibrate their gear, so we went to the Sunshroud Cave, where the last time we got some weapons that we could grind up from all the boxes. However, sadly, after opening all said boxes, we didn't get as much Stardust as we were hoping for. So to change up the plan, we tried buying some using Sproutlets from Nissa, but that exchange rate was not worth it at all. So we resorted to grinding out the high rank solo on pro mode, and this year works like a charm. Good weapons to grind up at the end of every try, so we repeated this multiple times. So the next day, we grinded up the weapons and got enough Stardust for everyone to be at their peak. Best gear we could make max calibrated. So we did one final DPS check with deviations. Chromita, 25 to 30k, Alpha, 28k, Pixel, around 23k, Goats, averaging out at about 45k, but take these with a big grain of salt. These numbers can vary a lot based on what you're fighting, but even with the medical deviation, my damage ain't half bad. We then activated the purification of the Thermal Tower's Chaosium waste, which in turn triggered an invasion to occur. Deviants were now attracted to the tower like moths to a flame. It was interesting to see such a large variety attempting to attack our tower. This was harder than we expected it to be, but we did manage to defend it successfully and repaired it fully afterwards. Up next, we had some upkeep to prepare for the Zone of Haze. Yes, it is time. Once we were ready, we set out to the entrance with a mix of tension and confidence. As the clock told midnight on day 94, we readied up and entered the Zone of Haze. We were in this to win it. Much to our surprise though, upon entry, we were past the Scorcher section, bringing us to the dark pathway where we were slaughtered in the last attempt. We struggled a bit, trying to figure things out, Alpha being the last one alive, remembering that we can heal at the light towers, so he was putting in the work to save us all. Slowly but surely, we were being revived to continue onward, and we made sure to remember the symbols that were along the path from whence we came. But at the end of said path, horrors beyond our imagination awaited us.
Ah, shit. It's the Secret Servitor. We didn't even want to fight it on pro in its own little monolith. Now it's gonna be cracked out of its fucking minds. Oh, it has 6 arms. That's not normal, is it?
I don't think any of this is normal.
Oh, we're killing her though. Yeah, look at. Oh, easy. Just.
Ah, no, no, no. Dr. Teddy, my house.
Oh, enemies around.
Oh, missiles, missiles, missiles.
Oh yeah, watch out. Those will one shot. Oh, these minions are tough though. Fuck.
Missiles.
Up. Ah. Where is Goat? Oh, shit.
It's right behind you!
Oh, shit! Tank it! No, I could not tank it.
Oh, he's coming. Watch out, Pixel behind you.
So, you come here often?
I did, yeah. And he got pissed. He got pissed, very pissed.
Oh fuck! No, Pixel! Don't leave me here! I also have less health. No, what the fuck?
Needless to say, that was more chaotic than expected, as it completely annihilated us. But it was time for round 2.
Oh,
Missiles?
Arbiter, go.
For me,
Let's
at
build
least.
them.
Melting in progress.
Alright, he's dead. Coming, Alpha! Not leaving you behind! There you go! Oh, why is she oh. I think she's immune now.
Do something.
Yep, something happened. Oh, she made illusions of herself. Yep, there's clones of her. Oh, I think we have to kill them in the right order, maybe? Or I don't know.
Here, I'll help you with these.
Thank you!
Trying to mow down here with Goat.
Okay, that one's dead. Okay, this one's almost, yeah, it's gone.
Alright. Circle is dead. That's 3 out of 4. Okay, now you guys gotta kill Moon. Oh, she's back. Oh, we're warping, boys. Whoa, hello. Whoa. Well, I'm laying on the hurt. Oh, she's immune. Okay, we have her at half health. Now there's symbols in the sky. So I guess we shoot diamond, circle, sanddial, moon. Oh, okay. That didn't seem to work. Okay, that's not the right one then.
Look at the towers. What numbers do they have? Circle is 2. Diamond is actually 3.
Okay, then what?
And then second circle.
Circle, and then diamond, and then moon.
Okay, I'm luring her shots then.
Alright, that worked.
Arbiter, be careful.
I'm getting surrounded by arbiters.
Oh, I'm
She's
almost
immune
dead.
again, guys. We didn't damage her fast
I'm
enough,
gonna-
I think. Thank you, Teddy. No, the thing is, there's no point in fighting the minions because for everyone you kill, another one spawns. The thing is, here we're just even still hitting her shield. We can't even get her shield away by the time she becomes immune again. Nope, I think we need to go back to the writing board, boys.
So, with that, we decided to go back to the drawing board on how to defeat this great one, and after some quick upkeep and research, we were ready to give this another go. 3rd time's the charm, after all.
Holy shit, I dealt 70,000 damage with a single sniper bullet. Holy! Look at her health melt. Damn,
What are you doing?
80,000! I don't know what's going on! 87,000 in a shot! Alright, okay, now we gotta do her clones. I
God
have
damn it,
every
man.
single mob in existence on my ass. This fucking lamp dude has to die. There we go.
Yeah.
Wait, watch out, we gotta drop now.
Yeah.
Do your 80k damage, sir. Do it now.
I'm on it.
I don't want to hear any excuses.
We're getting her armor down. Oh, fuck. I'm laying on the hurt. Oh, she's immune again.
Day 95, and yes, we were making progress to get rid of her shields faster, but we still were not quite getting the damage in that we needed to defeat her. This fight was proving to be quite difficult, but we knew that we could beat her, just needed to find out the right way. The challenge had us quite riled up, a worthy adversary indeed. Once we were ready, we headed in for round 4.
Let me pull out my sniper and lay on the pain. All right, be ready to glide.
Oh, I can't. Fuck.
All right, coming.
I had the deviant in my hand, so I couldn't glide. I'm up close and
sure?
personal.
Yeah, you
Healing
are
up.
melting its shield, yeah.
Nice, good job, Goat. No.
Yet again, we failed, but we kept pushing forward. We were not going home until we won.
All right, I guess just focus damage on him.
Yeah, one is moon. Go for moon.
Yeah.
Oh, I got you! Oh, I got you, Pixel!
Damn, that was a
Let's
snipe
go!
and a half.
All right, fire her! Fire at her! Fuck, I'm down. Pixel.
Oh.
You're also taking damage from the light. Okay.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
I'm coming.
Oh, it's okay. It's
Oh,
I got you guys focus. You guys focus there. We're good. Okay.
Mest oss duverskjøyte.
Dude, we're doing good, guys. We're doing pretty good. All right, we're dealing damage again. Finally. Hammer it. Hammer it. Go, go, go.
Fuck you!
Let's go.
Nice.
Yeah, baby.
Finally! The trick in the end was just let Goat and Alpha do their thing with beating the boss and Pixel be just keeping the aggro off of him. I think that was the flippin' key.
Well, we didn't have a plan for that run, but turns out the plan that we ended up doing worked. We just had to lock in and split up, 2 dealing with the minions while the other 2 tended to the boss, and in the end it worked in our favor. And man, victory was never this sweet. What a way to end a day. On day 96, we find that Goat has been busy, making his place all nice and fancy, and you know, we treated this day as our day off, so we were all making maxed out coops, as we had a silly celebration in mind from our recent victory. However, to have all of them maxed out, it did require some time being spent for resource grinding, but once we were all ready, the celebration in question was going to be a few races. The first one, Goat picked our start and finish line.
I will throw C4. Once it explodes, we go.
All right.
Alpha.
Go! You fucking cheater!
No. I just pressed so that he would start the engine.
I have a bad feeling about flooring this. Oh shit! Oh shit! Ah no! No! I
What?
thought it was to the left! No! Yes, Pixel! You're getting a raise! I'm trying to cut a corner. Cutting corners, baby! Let's go! Yay!
Oh no! I tried to.
No!
Alpha, I'm coming for your booty! Holy crap, this is so fast. This is so fast. Cutting corners. No! I hit a ledge. Shit. No, 800 meters out. He's got it in the bag. Ooh, that was close. Oh! Oh!
You see?
There it is, baby. Victory is mine.
This round's victory belonged to yours truly, and ironically, we all finished in the order of Team Caps. We all wanted to do another race because that was so much fun, so we began to look over the map for another race location, and we would do a short off-road one first.
Time for the off-road race to the Ashington one, where anything goes. 3, 2, 1, go!
Oh, you fuck.
He got confused. Woo! I'm gone! I'm gone! This is part triathlon.
What? Was that really necessary?
100%.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Do a double 360. I'm here.
I made it right after you. We're like a second apart.
The final race would be from Snow Cliff's teleportation tower to Bear's Den, with no shortcuts nor yeeting off cliffs. So this one was going to be quite a doozy.
All right, we want a clean competition, friendly rivalry. Okay.
No promises.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go!
Everyone that's so flag.
Oh, shit! Oh, I see you, Goat. I'm coming. Oh shit! Oh shit! Okay, backwards it is. Oh crap! I was debating on taking that road, Alpha. I wasn't sure. I guess if you consider that
There.
legal.
I know
Here.
which one you did, and yes,
With
it
stop
is.
sign.
Thank you, Alpha.
Yeah.
Oh crap! Shit! I was supposed to go left.
Thank you again.
Oh no!
I'm very far behind because I was suffering from bad driver syndrome.
Oh, I'm at the finish line. Woohoo!
Arrive.
And Curl's incoming. Woo!
Calculated.
Well, I'm doing the shortcut way now. I'm coming in hot.
So clearly, on the third race, Goat had that one in the bag from the 3-car pileup that happened. So with these lovely races done, we decided there were some loose ends that needed to be tied up. The first one would be to head to the silo with the claw machine, entering it on pro mode to finish what we started so very long ago. This fight lasted into the next day, and we noticed that its regen was not really an issue anymore, but it kept teleporting across the room.
Crow, awkward thing now. I ran out of healing items, so I'm wondering if you could, you know, send a good old friend over.
Here. Dr. Teddy will check up on you. You're healthy now.
Damn. Thank you.
Now die, you foul demon. Never want to see this dude again.
Yes.
Damn.
We can finally put this silo behind us, having completed it on pro mode, but now we were unable to repair our armor with how much we were going all out, so a large portion of the day got dedicated to upkeep and resupplying. Around noontime was when the pro mode rampage continued, visiting our old friend the Treant to take him out, but we failed miserably and surprisingly quickly on the first try. Later in the evening, after some armor repairs were completed, we entered again with a plan which was to stay together in front of its weak spot, but that plan fell apart after a few minutes in. But somehow, through a sheer miracle, we succeeded by the skin off our teeth. The main issue with this one is all the minions that he spawns in. With the Treant slain, there was only one more great one remaining, but as more repairs were needed, more upkeep was needed, so we went out to do upkeep throughout the night, straight into the next morning. But once everyone was ready, we were off to the final fight on pro mode to get them all done off of our checklist. Once arrived, we loaded into the Forsaken Giants arena, and not gonna lie, we were worried about this one. This was my biggest hurdle in my first Once Human video after all.
Oh, what the fuck is this arbiter? He's immune.
Or was immune.
Goat, I got you. Oh, fuck.
Please get me.
Hold still, will ya? Can't heal you. Oh shit, actually Pixel needs it more. Don't stand in the middle platform. Don't stand in the middle platform. Everyone's on the middle platform. Okay, I gotta run away from you guys now. Fuck. Out, Goat.
Bro!
I can't. I mean, it's either you or both of them.
Well, of course both of them. It's me, come on.
Fucking hell. Everything's on my ass. Come, Teddy, come.
Oh, no.
Oh, fuck. I fell to my death.
Alright.
Uh-oh.
Pixel? Oh, fuck. No.
We only have one platform.
Yeah. 1 out of 2.
We're completely fucked.
We're completely fucked.
I'll get you, Pixel. Whee!
First attempt on pro mode, not too great. We needed to warm up to its mechanics again, it seems, and so we were out having to rethink our approach while doing another grindfest for repairs and restocking. Max calibrated armor repairs would be expensive after all. So first in the evening, we could give this one more attempt to slay the giant. Time was running out, so tension was building up rather quickly.
First, Alpha, he's gonna punch by you. Watch out. Oh, now he's gonna do this side. What the fuck? Okay, let's focus on these big guys.
Yep. Take one of these balls and throw it at them.
Yep. Got it.
These arbiters are about the worst pieces of shit in existence.
Go on the other
Yep.
side. Exactly, good.
Yep.
Yep, nice. Pixel's off, and Alpha is okay. Oh, wait, I got you. Punch, shockwave.
Gets me.
Pixel's off. I got him.
No.
Fuck.
Evil on devil dit vi sett som tåtfarsen.
He's gonna do the nuke in the middle. Fuck, yeah, I guess he's doing it over here.
So whatever Crow says he's gonna do, run the opposite
Yeah,
direction.
exactly.
Oh, I can't even dodge that. Oh, we're all done.
Alrighty, day 99. We have just 2 days left, and we want to ensure that all things are beaten on pro mode. So what does this mean? It means we are making tungsten ammo now to take out the Forsaken Giant, pulling out all of the stops. We don't want to keep Igna waiting any longer after all. So we brought our A game.
Okay, she's gonna swipe.
Yep. Running to the other side.
It's a lot of. This is a prime time to damage her as well. Okay, punch. Watch out.
Yep, thank you.
Oh, did he just kill his?
Yeah.
Is that the trick?
Oh, I'll do this side.
Okay, watch out. That might break it. Watch out, punch.
Oh, what the fuck?
Watch out. It was. I pushed you out of that to safety. Go.
Thank you. I didn't even see it.
Come on, do something.
Punch on that
He is
side.
going to do something.
Ah!
Oh shit, he's got me! It's on the final stretch! Res me, boys! Res me!
I got you. I got you.
He's
What?
gonna swipe!
Wipe.
Pixel,
I can't, I
kill it!
can't.
It's all of you. All the best
Pixel,
on you.
kill it! And all the best on you!
Pixel the savior of the 100 days.
We finally did it. We beat it. Pixel was the MVP of that. It was do or die in that last moment, and he just stood there blasting away and took it down. Absolutely beautiful. We now just had one more thing left to do, to take down Igna. So we double checked our lists and gear to be at our maximum potential. It's here, day 100. With the final preparations completed, we were off to meet with Roland. And while we head on over there, I want to thank all of our lovely patrons and YouTube channel members for their monthly support. It is a big help to produce these videos, and it's never required, but always greatly appreciated. So, thank you very much. Upon meeting Roland, he says that he's got some big news. Igna is here at the Firethroat Mountain and wants us to split up and move out to meet up at an elevator to ascend to the upper levels of the compound. Thus began the infiltration of the final stronghold that was the Firethroat Fortress. It's evident that this place is heavy on Chaosium. This is also the biggest compound I have seen in this game. Slowly but surely, we were dismantling his forces one area at a time. We later arrived at the elevator, regrouping with Roland. He said he could feel Igna was so close that he could feel him in his grasps, and it explains how even with the world having ended like it did, he still maintained hope all this time thanks to the column, so he can't stop until everyone is safe. Upon reaching the top level, he heads out to sabotage as much of the infrastructure as he can, and we are to move forward to take out more of Igna's forces. This was truly the peak of a volcano. Lava everywhere with structures built all over looking like a massive factory. We were progressing rapidly to what we assumed was the command center, shredding through every single vulture we came across. Once we reached this main building, we noticed it was incredibly hot here, so time is ticking before we melt, so we floored it to where Igna was located at. At last, we are face to face with Igna himself. It's been a long time coming, and he wants us to join him, saying we could build a new world together. Roland shows up too, but apparently Igna knew all along that he let himself get caught on purpose. This dude seems to be all-knowing. He also says that we should be working together as we are all blessed by great ones in a way, both of them through Chaosium and, well, us through Stardust. He really wants us to join him because the world will burn regardless. We need not fight amongst each other, in his opinion. Roland is clearly set against him, giving him a speech only to be cut off by some strange control that Igna could possibly have over the Chaosium in Roland's arm. Thus, we shoot Igna's hand in an act of defiance. Igna, now certain we do not wish to reign with him, ends up throwing himself into the lava below as a colossal fire Chaos Weaver awakens and rises up, ready to wreak havoc across the north as we hear Igna's manic laughter. He seems to live on through the Chaos Weaver itself. His powers truly know no bounds. Speaking with Roland, he says that there is still hope though. We have to stop Igna and defeat the machine that is set out to destroy the north, and that thing is man-made after all, and well, if it's man-made, man can destroy it. So, while we wrap up the last 2 small lists of town completion to complete the map completely, let me tell you, my lovelies, that the story of Way of Winter, although done, doesn't end here. It's up to every one of us to slay the Chaos Weavers that plague the north, to break free of the chokehold that Igna has cast upon these lands. So join the fight today by downloading the game for free through my link down below and use code CHROMATA to get a boost in items to get your account started and experience one hell of a game that is Once Human with your friends. There's PvP and PvE servers, so there's something for everyone. And remember, my lovelies, there's massive updates coming in 2025. In addition to multiple scenarios, there will be a new feature called Visional Wheels, which I'm personally super excited for. For every scenario server based on the wheel, new gameplay and combat mechanics get added, as well as rule changes, making every scenario a fresh new experience. Like Team Caps could hop into the Way of Winter again and have a whole new adventure. But the crazy news doesn't stop there, as the mobile version of Once Human will launch in April 2025, replicating the high-quality PC version, truly marching the mobile survival game scene into a new era of no pay-to-win. So join their Discord through the link down below and stay tuned for more updates. And there you have it, the last 2 towns are complete. And with that, every silo and every monolith is done on pro mode, along with the Zone of Haze, with every town completion and teleportation tower checked. Truly, this was a fulfilling and riveting gaming experience for our team. And with our journey coming to a close, I want to thank you so very much for watching till the end, and we'll be seeing you very soon. So take care now. Bye-bye.